well, you know.
Okay, we are live.
Oh, yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outlaw Picks podcast. As you can see today, we are live. So there we are on the one camera today, just to keep things straightforward. Welcome to UFC 285 Fight Week. We've been waiting for a long time for the return of Jon Jones. We're all very excited. I know you're all very excited. We've seen the views on the War Room are rolling up. I appreciate you watching that. And the subscribers as well. We're almost at 175,000, aren't we?
Yeah.
Almost. Subscribe if you're not already. We appreciate it. Right, okay. Well, we're going to talk about some fights today. So we are live. Veronica's also in training camp. So we're going to skip past the early prelims. We're going to chat about the Ian Garyy Kenan fight because that's very exciting. And I have to say, before I read into the sponsors, Damon Blackshear, what a name that is, right? Like that literally is a name off the raid game, and people don't believe I play that. I don't know why.
No, he does. Like, I'm being dead serious.
Like, I keep seeing comments like there's no way he plays that game.
Like, even if we're just watching something, he'll have it in just on the side.
I'm one day off.
Champions winning.
Exactly.
Champions
Got to check
fighting.
on my champions. I'm one day off the next champion, Dark Athel. Can't wait to get her. She looks vicious. Anyway. We have two awesome sponsors for today's show. We have our friends at Athletic Greens, AG1. We love this stuff. We both take it every morning. It's the first thing we do. Mix up the drink, down it, and then we get the coffee going. And then we're off to training.
Yep.
You started using it at the start of this training camp. How are you feeling with it?
Oh, I love it.
Yeah?
I love it. I feel like it tastes great. And then, like I said before, I'm just more primed to make better decisions throughout the day.
Exactly.
And
I don't want to let myself down after I've had my Athletic Greens.
Yeah.
I'm on point today. Start the day well.
And it helps with like hydration as well. Like
Yep.
if you don't want to start and then just drink coffee straight away, even dehydrate yourself even more. So that's always great.
And of course, you're in training camp, so you're gradually bringing your weight down to make weight. So another good thing with this is it makes sure you're getting all your nutrients and vitamins and minerals. So 75 vitamin minerals, probiotics, etc., etc. Great for your gut health, great for your central nervous system, great for your immune system. It helps you sleep, it helps you recover, it helps you think clearly. It really is fantastic stuff. If you use our code, you'll get an awesome... Oh, sorry, I just knocked your laptop. My big hands.
Okay.
You'll get 5 of the free travel packs, and you'll get a year's supply of vitamin D and K2. Very, very important, especially for this time of year, if you live in a dark area of the world like England, where we get like 20 minutes of sunshine a day.
If that.
About
with rain.
If we're lucky, 20 minutes of sunshine a day. We need vitamin D and K2 in our diet. You'll get a year's free supply as well as 5 of the travel packs. Now we're working out of the big bag with the scoop. You put the scoop in the bottle, 12 ounces of water, and you're good to go. These are pre-prepared sachets. You'll get 5 of those with your first order, as well as the vitamin D and K2. So to make it easy, Athletic Greens is going to give you 1 free year supply of immune-supporting vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. All you have to do is visit athleticgreens.com/outlawed, outlawed with the ED, and you can take ownership over your health and pick up the ultimate daily nutritional insurance. It really is good stuff. We use it constantly. I was hearing about it from Lex Friedman. Andrew Huberman talks about it all the time. All of the right people are on this stuff. It really is excellent. And it just kind of keeps that base level of nutrition right where you need it, when everyone's got chaotic diets. And our other sponsors, which, my goodness, this microphone's jumping out at me. I have to thank these guys. I mean, like, the amount of times I've bought underwear and I've hoped that it was going to fit properly and do exactly what I need it to do, and it's just been useless. I have a drawer full of underwear. I'm throwing it all away. I'm replacing it all with these. So these, I talked about the Paradise Pocket on the other ones. These are the Elite 2 boxer briefs. So these are really, really fantastic. Hard wearing, microfiber material. They've got the Paradise Pocket on the inside. Now, we've talked about this before, and what I realised is, because I was watching something on YouTube the other day and an All Citizens advert came up telling me about these. And I've realised that we're too British to talk about the benefits of these, because we don't talk about balls sticking to the insides of thighs. Like, this is where I need to bring Jimmy Warled in and just go, Jimmy, explain how good this Paradise Pocket is. So basically, yeah, exactly. Like, I think I'm just a bit too British for this. Like, basically, look, like, you put your junk in there. It keeps everything separated right in that little pocket there. Keeps everything where you need it, not sticking to your thighs. The other thing as well is these little silicone dots on the legs of the bottoms of the legs. They stop them riding up as you're running, as you sit and driving. I'm always like doing that when I'm driving. Like,
Yeah.
well, not anymore. I'm not, because I'm wearing these. They really, really are good. So you've got the Paradise Pocket, awesome. The grippy stuff on the inside of the leg, awesome. And the microfiber, anti-odor, sweat wicking, fast drying, all of the stuff that you want from these. They've got loads of good products on their website. Full Reptile 10 is the code. Now, there are 2 websites. Jamie's going to put them in the description below. We've got allcitizens.com if you're in the US, and INTL, international, .allcitizens.com for everybody else. If you use the code FULLREPTILE10, you'll get 10% off your order. Check these out. I recommend you get some of the Elite 2 boxer briefs. If nothing else, try these out. But they're T-shirts, they're long-sleeve T-shirts. They're all excellent. I'm gonna put those right next to...
It's really soft as well.
Athletic Greens there. Yeah, I mean, the thing is like, to find a good pair of underwear like that, a lot of people would have to spend a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like, they'll find a nice pair of underwear, but then they're like, oh, this is too expensive. You'll be unrivaled for price with All Citizens. They really are excellent. Go and check yourself out, those and your Athletic Greens. Okay. UFC 285?
Yeah, before we get started, are we doing stamps?
Oh, I don't know. We can do stamps. Can Jamie do stamps? Can you do it?
Yeah, but okay. Can I not be the underwear stamp this time? You know, like junk sticking to your leg. I'm just like, that's my stamp. I feel like I'm the Hulk this time.
I don't know. Can Jamie switch it?
I've got a few on here. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, just mean like I'll be Athletic Green as the stamp.
I'll be the Paradise Pocket. I'm wearing these as we speak.
Like last time it was like, yeah, if you're in high school and you have like your same underwear for years and years, and it's like Veronica's stamp.
That's the thing. Yeah, but what you got to bear in mind, and I did notice this actually in the demographics of the channel. I mentioned this to you. Like, the War Room is like 1.4% female, and I'm pretty sure that's you and probably my mum and my sister, and that'll be about it. And that's my sister only watching half the time because she's busy.
Amy watches it too, but just to edit the sound.
Well, there you go. Yeah. She better tell me on mute more than anything. So we're like 1.2, 1.4% female viewers for the War Room. 4% for the podcast. So well done for you for bringing that extra, like, what is it, 2.8% in? That's really cool.
Extra 2 people.
But that 2.8%, it's just the benefit of this Paradise Pocket is just going to fly over your head, just like it does with yours. Which is why you don't really deserve the Paradise Pocket stamp. That really should be mine all day long.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean,
maybe they'll just get it for their partner so they don't have to look at the holy underwear anymore.
That is a good idea. Now, that is a good idea. Yes, for the 4% of female viewers that we've got on the podcast, get your man some of these and throw the rest of it out. Full Reptile 10. That's a good shout, because you know the guys are going to be reluctant and cling on to their old underwear that was done 5 years ago.
I feel like this is a personal issue for you.
No, it's not at all. No. I'm happy
I haven't gone through it. But...
Look, I've been searching for the right underwear. I get through like 3 pairs a day because they annoy me. So I take them off and get a new pair, and I'm like, I hope these are going to fit. But no, they don't.
No.
I'm 1 pair a day underwear now.
Okay.
1 pair a day Dan. That's what they call me. Anyway, not pair like fruit. No, like 1 pair of underwear a day. Okay, we're way off track,
like
and we've not even just. That is the way. In fact, next time you go to the supermarket, if the shelves aren't bare, I don't know what's going on in the world at the moment. Get us some kiwis, and we'll show people the Paradise Pocket. I have considered putting a couple of eggs in there, but I had like 6 for breakfast this morning. So, okay. I mentioned I called Damon Blackshear's name.
Yes, you did.
That is a cool name.
That is a cool name.
Like, he should walk out with some massive, like, angel wings or something and a big scythe. I feel like he's like some kind of mythical character. Mm-hmm. What a name! And his nickname is the Monster. Brilliant. I love it.
Nice.
Some good fights on the undercard. We're not going to talk about the first. Well, we've got 5 prelims now, haven't we? Jessica Benet, Tabitha Ricci is going to be a good scrap. I'm looking forward to that one. A good opportunity for Tabitha Ricci to get a win over someone like Jessica Penne, who's been, she's been in the sport a long time. She's a respected name in the division, but a very tough test.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good
Jessica has
great
grappling.
Exactly, black belt, isn't she?
Yeah, that's really where she stands out, because she trains in what's Dominic Cruz's team?
Yeah, Alliance.
Yes, Alliance MMA.
Yeah, and they've got a good little squad of women down there, haven't they?
Yeah,
I've noticed that occasionally your opponent drops in there and
Oh, well.
We'll talk about her another time, though. Not for this podcast. We've got Cameron Simon on the card as well. He's the guy that trains with Duplessis.
Yes.
He had a good debut.
He looked great.
Yeah, a little bit wild. Reminded me of a young Nathaniel Wood, right? Reminded me of a young Nathaniel Wood.
Yeah.
Who unfortunately is off UFC London
card. Oh, I was so sad.
Yeah.
I saw him hitting pads and I was like, oh no, man, that just made me like if he looked crappy, I would be like a little bit not as sad. But
he really
looked
good.
So good.
Yeah, but there's nothing you can do about that
it's
cut
massive.
on his leg.
It's like that big.
Yeah, it's bad. It needs a bit of time to heal, but he'll be back and he'll be very, very strong when he comes back. But yeah, Cameron Simon. Looking forward to that one. So the first fight I want to talk about is Ian Garyy against Song Kenan. Because, of course, we watched Ian Garyy in his last couple of fights on Cage Warriors. Very, very good. Very slick striker. That head kick against Rostam Akman was the one that stands out in my mind, where he just set him up perfectly for it. Really, really slick striker. Spends his time in Florida now with Henry Hooft.
No, not anymore.
Oh, is he not?
No, he went back to... he's training at Renegade.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah, because apparently...
Renegade?
Yeah, like where Leon Edwards trains.
Ian Garyy?
Yes.
No.
Check his Instagram right now.
I was watching it. I was on his Instagram the other day, and he was training with the Leech and stuff in Florida. Killcliff MMA, right?
No, he's been training at Renegade. Unless, like...
Nah.
Is that Arnold Allen?
Yeah, you're getting them mixed up.
No, I'm not getting them mixed up.
No way.
All right. Okay.
No way.
1 second.
Prove me wrong.
I will prove you wrong, and I will enjoy it.
He's fighting out at Killcliff. I've been watching him on his Instagram training with the Leech and stuff. He looks really sharp.
Oh, but he was training at Renegade not too long ago. I remember like seeing, because he was like, with like Headshot King and stuff.
Yeah, not in his training camp though, right?
No, I'm just like he's been training with him. All of a sudden, all the pictures of that are gone. That is a bit strange.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm not even getting into the politics of it. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, that's weird. I did, like, for sure,
really?
100% see him with, like, Leon Edwards and stuff, like, training. And it was, like, a post, like, decided to move back to be in the UK or something like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed that one. I've just seen him, like, sparring with the Leech and a few of the other guys over at Killcliff. They keep changing the name of this gym as well, don't they?
Yeah, it's weird. But, like, I don't know.
Yeah. He looks very good. He's had a couple of tough fights in the UFC so far, but he against Gabe Green in particular, I thought he looked very good on the back foot. Mm-hmm. Very calm, good head movement, slipping and moving off the fence. And the thing is with Song Kenan, he's got big power in both his hands. He's a strong welterweight. He's a great athlete, but he can be a slow starter.
Yeah.
Like if you come at him, if you bring the fight to him, like Bobby Nash did, like 15 seconds, cracked him clean and knocked him out, you can get stopped very, very quickly against him. However, if you smart in the first round and you kind of, let the first round breathe a little bit, he can be quite a slow starter. And I feel like that's going to give Ian Garyy the opportunity to kind of get a bit ahead on the scorecards in the first round. I mean, it's a difficult fight because the experience that Song Kenan's got. But Ian Garyy, I think, he's made the right moves to prepare himself for a UFC career by moving to train with Henry.
You don't think like this fight is a little bit... Well, like not as challenging as Gabe Green. You don't think Gabe Green was a bit more difficult?
No,
because they were like making the.
I think Song Kenan's a very, very tough. He's unranked, isn't he, Song Kenan? I think he's a very tough, one of the toughest unranked fighters you can draw in the welterweight division, for sure. Like if you look who he's lost to. In the UFC, he's lost to Alex Morono by decision. And then Max Griffin caught him clean. And that fight could have gone back and forth. Like, if they fought 10 times, they could win 5 each. The fact that Max Griffin caught him doesn't negate the fact that he was also getting caught with shots as well. Like, Song Kenan can crack. I remember when he went through the PI in Shanghai, and they were talking about how highly he tested on the athletic performance test they put him through. I just feel like sometimes he can be a little bit of a slow starter. And I think if Ian Gary's smart the way that he is, the way that he strikes, and he's kind of in and out of range and not really giving anything to bite on, I think it might be another good performance for Ian Garyy. I'm excited for him. At some point, he's gonna step up and he's gonna really, really be tested. And I think this might be it.
Yeah.
But I still think he might come through it.
think he's like really good at managing range in those counter shots, like how he caught was it Jordan was his name?
Yes, yeah, Jordan Williams.
Yeah, Jordan Williams.
Yeah, 4:59 in the first round. Yeah. He's you know, and the thing is, we've seen him in the trenches against Jack Grant as well. Last fight in Cage Warriors, 5-5s, and Jack Grant's tall, rangy, challenging in every range. Yeah,
I just feel like they're trying to build Ian though.
For sure, absolutely they are. But I still think that they are trying to build him absolutely, because there's a few of those fights on this card. You know what I mean? Like they're trying to get a win back on Garbrandt's record. That's pretty obvious. And I think that the Bo Nickal Jamie Pickett one is clearly matched for Bo Nickal to win.
Yeah.
I don't see the same thing with this one. I think they could have given Ian Garyy an easier match. I do, and I think that I think it's going to be a good test for him. But I do think he's ready for it.
Yeah.
Like he's 10-0 now, isn't he? I think he's ready for it. Let me have a quick look at the tail of the tape. I've actually not had a look at it for this fight. So 10-0 for Ian Garyy, 18-6 for Song Kenan. Ian Gary's listed at 6'3". He's quite tall though, isn't he? 6'3" seems tall. Like tall for how tall he is, if that makes sense. I'd have put him at maybe 6'1", 6'2", but that's a decent height advantage. 3 inches in reach as well. High striking output, decent takedown defense, 75%. I think this is going to be a kickboxing match unless Song Kenan's going to try and surprise us. Yeah, interesting. I wasn't really planning on making a pick, but as you can probably tell, I'm leaning towards Ian Garyy on that one. I think Song Kenan being a slow starter is going to be a benefit to him, and the fact he's coming off first knockout loss on his record.
No, because he lost Brad Riddell in second round.
Oh, of course he did.
Yeah.
But was that a different weight class? No, that was Brad Riddell at welterweight.
Yeah,
punch to the body.
I just feel like that's kind of why they gave him to Ian Garyy, because Ian Garyy has those first round knockouts.
Yeah, he's got a head kick loss to Adesanya. How have I not seen that fight? Song Kenan against Adesanya. Head kick knockout. I'll have to watch that. I feel like I must have done, but not registered it was him, perhaps. Okay, should we move on?
Yeah.
Which way are you going? Are you picking?
Yeah, I'm picking Garyy.
Ian Garyy, yeah. Okay, first fight on the prelims. This is a banger. This is a good one to start the card with, because I feel like both of these guys, they get beat up a little bit before they start to wear their opponent down.
Yeah, they're a bit like 50-50 big. It's just
like toss a
coin
coin.
toss.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen here.
Yeah. Julian Marquez against Marc-Andre Barriault. I think I called Barriault's UFC debut. His nickname's Power Bar, and it's very fitting. He just doesn't slow down, doesn't stop. So UFC stats has got Julian Marquez at 9-3. Marc-Andre Barriault 14-6 with 1 no contest. 1 inch height advantage for Marquez, 2 inch reach advantage for Barriault. Higher striking output by a decent amount for Barriault. He is aggressive. He does push forward, and Marquez tends to throw single shots. That seems to be what caught him out against Rodriguez a bit. Like he was trying to meet a single shot with a single shot, and Rodriguez was throwing multiples.
Yeah, multiples. Yeah.
And of course that's what Barriault's going to do. But then, you know, is there a point where Barriault's hit Marquez to the point where he's now starting to get a bit tired, and then he starts to get a bit sloppy, and then that's where Marquez's power holds up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I do like what's this guy's name? Marc-Andre.
Yeah.
It's easy to confuse because Marquez.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Same messed
Barriault.
up. Yeah, Barriault. So I like the way he like slipped and did those uppercuts versus Abu.
Oh, as Aitar.
Yes. That was a slick fight.
Yeah, that was a good fight. And you look at the fight against Lungian Buller, like someone that's like very dangerous with single shot power, was able to keep him pressured up against the fence. You know, keep working him, make him work more than he wanted to. I don't know as Julian Marquez gets tired as quickly as Lungian Buller does though. Like the thing is, like you look at Barriault in his last fight against Hernandez, and I think he's a bit of a dark horse in this division. Anthony Hernandez, fluffy.
Yeah, didn't he submit? Rodolfo Vieira.
Yeah. Rodolfo Vieira. Yes.
Yeah, there we go.
He did. Yeah, he's on a 3-fight win streak at the moment. But that arm triangle against Barriault was really nice, and I was just generally impressed with him. I think it might be smart for Marquez to try and mix his wrestling into this one, even if it's just to open up opportunities to throw big single shots on the feet. But the fact that he's been stopped by Njokuani and the fact that he's been submitted.
Well, he's now Julian's now training at Factory X, which it might help him out a bit more because he was over James Krause's team, and then I think when in that last fight it was throughout the whole what's going on.
I've still no idea what's going on, to be honest.
I would like to know actually, if anyone has details.
It kind of awkward. I wonder if he decided he was going to move camps anyway, or if that was kind of a part of his decision making. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Difficult one to pick, this one. I just think it's a good scrap. I just think it's a good scrap, and I think
they're just going to slug it out.
Yeah, I think either of them can win it. I think Barriault putting his strikes together might be an advantage early on, but I think Marquez's toughness might get him through those early rounds and might find him on the neck of Barriault trying to choke him out. You know what I mean? Like he was on.
He has good kicks as well. I remember the Dana White Contender Series where he got the contract because he slid him off the fence and high kicked him.
The Maki Pitolo fight's a good example. Like he was losing that fight. You know what I mean? And then he pulled it back in the third round with an anaconda, and then Sam Alvey, rear naked choke. I can see it going that way, but I can see him losing the first round because Barriault's throwing multiples when he's throwing single shots. And then maybe Barriault pulling it. Then Marquez pulling it off a little bit later on. Yeah. That won't surprise me.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Marquez in this one.
How do you reckon he's going to do it?
Maybe third round submission.
You reckon, yeah?
Yeah.
What? Rear naked choke, anaconda, something new?
A Darce.
Ooh, a Darce. Has he got a Darce on his record? He hasn't.
Well, time to add it up.
Right? He's got a guillotine, an anaconda, a rear naked choke. So then he'd need a Darce
he's going
and
for
a triangle and a Von Flue choke.
No, but Darce is a bit more in that category than a triangle.
Is it? What, because you use your arms and not your legs?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly why. I don't know what better reason you need.
But then with a guillotine and a rear naked choke, do you not use your arms and your legs as well?
Oh, here we go.
I
mean around the neck.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, right.
Gotcha.
Okay. So what else goes in that category then? If you're trying to get a full set of chokes, in fact, you can put this in the comments.
Yeah. I don't know. It depends. Are we adding weird Instagram chokes into this?
Weird Instagram chokes?
Yeah.
No, the full set of standard chokes. What are they? You've got your guillotine. Do you count your arm in guillotine as a separate choke?
That's guillotine.
No, guillotine's a guillotine.
Guillotine's a
guillotine. Guillotine. Anaconda.
Yeah, arm triangles.
Arm triangle. Good shout.
Thanks.
Okay, that's why you've got a black belt. Guillotine, anaconda.
Yeah, we're not going to get
Darce.
Yeah,
right?
Darce.
What else?
We can't get too John Danaher when he's this was called this and this is called that.
Are we going ninja choke as a separate one?
No, we're not doing ninja choke.
What's that then? What about breadbasket?
No.
What then?
No weird.
What about that weird one that Jimmy does? What about that? What's it?
If you just said weird, then no.
Well, I saw somebody had got it the other day on what was it? Was it Bellator?
I feel like this is
it pops up on my Instagram and they were like, "Look at this submission." I'm like, "Yeah, Jimmy gets with that every week." It's it's horrible. Or he's got the James Bond, but that's legs again.
I see now.
Legs.
No.
Can't have that one.
Dude, during Mark Goddard's judging and referee course that I did, he had this one submission that I'm only one person has ever pulled that off. I'm not going to see that. And I don't know the name.
So what are we saying then as far as
Yeah, I'm going to go with Julian.
Okay, yeah, you reckon, yeah. And you reckon it's going to be a submission?
Yeah, submission. Maybe towards the end.
Yeah.
Or they're just gonna decision it out.
I can see it being a wild 8 minutes, and then Marquez managing to get a rear naked choke with no hooks.
Second round.
And you think he's gonna slide off? Yeah, end of the second round. Yeah, I could see that.
Okay.
So we're going both Marquez then.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't like it when we make the same picks.
I know, because that means I'm probably wrong then. It's when you do too many C's on a test, you're just ooh. I think I'm wrong on one of these. You can recheck.
So, okay. So we're both going Marquez on that one. The next one's a good scrap as well. Kind of hard to pick this one. Viviane Araujo. Is that how you say her name? Against Amanda Ribas.
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah, kind of a difficult one to pick, this one again. I feel like they're very evenly matched. I just kind of feel like Araujo's just a little bit more
like muscular,
a bit more physical, a bit more CrossFit. You know what I mean? A bit more.
I mean, they're
push-ups
both
before breakfast, kind of
pretty push-ups.
Yeah,
they're
are.
both
they
like
are
pretty push-ups before
for
breakfast.
sure. But I don't know. I just
like protein powder everywhere.
It's the shoulders on Araujo though.
Oh,
Like she's got like.
Yeah, but those shoulders get a bit tired when you're trying to wrestle, and
True. Didn't help her
Ribas
against Grasso, did it?
moves really well and can tag you with shots and can just be like buzzing in your face all the time, which like moving in and out, changing angles, hitting her shots. Like it was only against Marina Rodriguez where she got caught really bad. But I don't think Viviane has the same.
She got stopped twice in that fight.
Yeah, I don't think she has the same like striking skills as Marina, obviously. But Viviane's like really good on the ground. But you got to think Ribas, like her dad's a jiu-jitsu coach. You know, like they have their own team. They're training constantly.
Yeah.
Like jiu-jitsu is like she's very very good at it as well.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you think there's a benefit in the fact that Araujo's just done 5 rounds? Like, do you think she comes back into this one's like 15 minutes? Let's go.
Yeah.
Foot on the gas. Let's go.
Especially because on the other 5 round, I didn't feel like she went as much as.
No.
You know, like she didn't really was like aggressive and moving all the time, kind of like Amanda Ribas does.
I thought she was going to try and bully her a little bit more.
Yeah.
And she did. Grasso got her respect quickly, didn't she? Because of her hands, good hand speed, nice tight defense. I thought she looked good in that fight, and I was surprised that we didn't see Araujo try and like just kind of bully her, push her around a bit more, clinch her up against the fence, and you know.
Yeah, well, she did try, but you know, it's not like Alexa didn't defend properly.
Yeah, no. I mean, I guess I was expecting to have more success with it than she did, but Grasso looked really good in that fight.
And how do you feel that?
She gets hit quite a lot, don't she?
Yeah, she does get hit.
Like she's been cracked a few times, and she's been. She looked great against Jandarova, but she does look more athletic in that fight to me.
Yeah.
She looked quicker in and out. She was still getting tagged with a few shots. Who wins it on the ground?
It depends who initiates it, if that makes sense.
You reckon?
Yeah.
You reckon there's one of them's just not generally better than the other on the ground?
No, I think they're like both pretty good. It's hard to see based on MMA how good somebody is on the ground, especially because you have the wrestling that comes into it, and sometimes you don't land in a really good position. You know, like you land and you're already halfway losing.
Yeah.
So it's hard to come back, and the time frames is all very difficult to really show you, unless you're like a Damian Maia, which is super levels above your opponent.
Yeah.
Sometimes the jiu-jitsu isn't that different, and you don't have a lot of time to implement it. It's more when you apply like wrestling type things, when you just control people, that you're just like, oh, they have great jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
But if you go to a jiu-jitsu competition, you see different things.
So here's a question for you then. So Amanda Ribas is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and judo.
Yeah.
And Araujo is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and luta livre. What would you prefer? A judo black belt or a luta livre black belt?
I feel like a judo black belt.
Yeah, would you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wonder how much variance there is in the luta livre system. Colin Heron's a luta livre black belt.
Yeah, they have a lot of luta livre in Brazil. Like I've trained in various luta livre places, and it's a lot like just no-gi jiu-jitsu, to be honest.
Yeah.
It's that like with they just attack the legs more than you would in your standard no-gi jiu-jitsu. If that makes sense. Like they'll go a lot more for leg locks and stuff. It's a little bit like catch wrestling type, how they teach it, or how I've learned it in gyms that I've gone to in Brazil. A lot of neck attacks for luta livre fighters. A lot of neck attacks, a lot of like heel hooks, a lot of leg locks. But
is there a stand-up element in the competitions as well? Is it same as jiu-jitsu where they start standing? Yeah, I would imagine it would be, right? So I wonder how. Yeah, I'd rather a judo black belt for sure. I'd rather a judo black belt, I think. Yeah. Well, that's good to have the full set, right?
Yeah.
You can have one of each black belts.
You added Muay Thai in it.
No. Very good. Very good. I'm telling you, like I've watched it again, that post-fight interview, I'm telling you, Jon Jones is trolling us. He even did it again today. Even tweeted again today. He's like, I can't believe you guys think that Ciryl Gane's a better striker than Thiago Santos. Really, John? You really don't think we can? Yeah. He's a black belt in Muay Thai. A black belt in Muay Thai. And then he kind of like looks over at his brother like, I just said Muay Thai black belt. We know they don't exist. If anyone says they're a black belt in Muay Thai, they're lying to you. They just don't exist.
Yeah, but I've heard like some like pretty high up there people say they're black belt in Muay Thais, and I'm just like...
Yeah, only because the idiots respond to it. Do you know what I mean? Like it's only because
trigger people.
I don't care. You know I don't care. It's only because it's a marketing thing, right? Like, imagine if jiu-jitsu didn't have belts. How would you know who was in charge? How would you know who to go to? Like, you could be trained under a guy that's a blue belt equivalent who is claiming to be as good as a black belt equivalent. So the belt system is relevant, right? It's not relevant in Muay Thai. What matters in Muay Thai is your fight record.
Yeah, I can see that.
I don't know. I mean, well, fight record, experience.
It's like a black belt in boxing.
Yeah, that makes no sense either. That makes no sense.
Someone says Seek War says I sound like Jodie Foster.
Oh, is that right? Yeah.
Hello, Clarice. I just wanted to do that. I've been waiting for like 30 seconds to do that.
Yeah, and how many people have been sending you messages with like face-offs now? Like, what was the one you got the other day with Todd Duffy? And someone had sent the message and just said, kiss.
Oh, it was hilarious. I loved it.
Yeah. We kind of went off on tangents again.
Okay.
So Amanda Ribas has got a blue belt in boxing and a brown belt in Wing Chun.
You just said we gone off topic and you continue.
Yeah, okay.
Who are you picking?
I don't know. I feel like it's a really, really evenly matched fight.
Yeah, they both have losses to Caitlin Shikagian.
Yep. Is there what's the difference in
a lot of people say Ribas won versus Shikagian though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Chikagian's she's got a little bit of an underwhelming style, which means you don't really pay attention to the amount of shots that she actually lands. Like, she's got good fundamentals and good footwork, but she's not like... Is that a plane? My goodness. Must be like 3 feet above the house. I don't know. I don't feel like Chikagian's got that kind of presence, which makes it easy for people to overlook her. You know?
Yeah.
UFC rankings. I've got them in every language here, which is wonderful. What is going on with UFC.com? Literally. It's got Kelvin Gastelum 4 times, twice in English and once in Russian and once in another language. Just when you need a website to work.
What are you looking for?
I'm just looking to see what the difference in the rankings are between the two of them.
Well, Ribas fights like strawweight as well, so that might...
Oh, yeah, okay. Well, let's just abandon that then. Did I do tailor the tape? 11-4 for Araujo, 10-3 for Amanda Ribas, 1-inch height advantage, 2-inch reach advantage for Araujo. Higher striking output, but only by a tiny bit. But apparently Ribas has got better striking defense. 90% takedown defense for Araujo versus 88% takedown defense for Ribas. 2% difference in takedown defense. And 1% difference in takedown accuracy. Are you cold?
Yes,
I noticed you stole my sunglasses as well for this podcast. I was going to wear them.
Finders keepers.
I literally only wear those sunglasses for the podcast.
Yeah,
and people always comment. They're like, oh, dude, love your sunglasses. Where'd you get them from? And then when I tell you where I got them from, I got them from the minibar at the Fight Island Hotel. And I took them out and put the purple ones on and walked around with them for that day. Yeah. And then when I got back to my hotel room and opened the minibar, there was a green pair in there. I'm like, I'll have those as well.
Score.
Yeah, I think I've got 3 pairs. I've got a yellow pair as well.
Yeah, so why don't you just get a different one? This one matches my shirt.
Because they were in here. I've only got 2 pairs in here. I've got those and I've got these, which are just a little bit...
That's too much.
They're a little bit too much, aren't they?
Yeah.
Little bit.
I don't...
Little bit
that reflective screen.
Yeah, everyone can see the set if I put them on. Okay, look, we gotta bring this back on track. You're like off-roading here at the moment.
Amy says we said Araujo bad.
Oh, did we?
Yes.
How do you say it then?
How I just said it.
Araujo.
Yeah.
Do you? I don't know.
I say every fighter's name wrong, so...
Yeah, you do. Although people like Nasparat, people thought that was a good use of time. No, I agree. But now the thing is I'm doing it with all of them. I'm doing it with everybody's name now. I'm just smushing them together.
Yeah.
And it doesn't work for half of them. Okay. Are we going to get back on track here? Did you make a pick?
I think Amanda Ribas.
Okay, I'll go Araujo then, because I was kind of on the fence, but given the fact that she's got the height and reach advantage, I'll go with Araujo.
Yeah.
Yeah? Is that right? Am I saying it right?
I think so.
Amy, am I saying it right? I have no idea.
My leg's gone to sleep. I need to move a little.
Wake it up. We've got to go for a run later.
Yeah.
Okay, next up is Derek Brunson against Dricus du Plessis. This is a bit of an ugly fight, this one. I'm sorry. It's a bit of an ugly fight. Derek Brunson, his style gets really ugly really quickly. If you stuff a couple of takedowns, he starts to like move away with his chin in the air, and he like reaches. It just never looks like he wants to be in there. Like when I remember it being like a few inches from when he was fighting Robert Whittaker, and it was just chin in the air, lunging like left hand over and over again, scrambling. It was just a mess of a fight. And du Plessis, as of course, you know, he's got a good record. He's looking very strong since he joined the UFC. I felt like he got really untidy against Darren Till after the first 4 minutes of grappling exchange.
Yeah.
Like when they separated, Brendan Loughnane in his corner was losing his mind. He was going, he's tired, jump on him. And he looked tired for the whole of the rest of the fight, but was still able to work through and win. Like you could probably put Derek Brunson, Dricus du Plessis, and Marquez and Barriault in the same cage at the same time and just let them go. We'll just declare one winner. One winner gets two fight purses, right? Why not? Save us some time. Just do both fights in 15 minutes. I could reinvent MMA. I'm telling you.
I'm pretty
UFC
sure.
Moon. By the time UFC Moon comes around.
I'm pretty sure that's like a Russian show.
By
already.
the time. What, UFC Moon?
No.
It could well be. It could well
Multiple fighters at the same time.
It is.
Yeah, it was just weird that Darren Till was getting takedowns on du Plessis, though, before he subbed him.
Yeah.
You know, and how good Derek Brunson is at taking fighters down over and over and over again.
Yep.
Yeah, you mentioned him getting sloppy if, you know, he doesn't get it, but it's not like he doesn't get it often. He's really good at it.
Yeah.
He's made a successful career out of it, really.
Yeah. I mean, to be exact, he gets 1 in every 3 takedowns he attempts. Like, Derek Brunson, to me, looks like he's better at chain wrestling than he is at initiating wrestling.
Yeah.
Right? So if he's on the outside, and if you can keep him on the outside, then it's really, really difficult for him to transition through into grappling range. Mm-hmm. Once he's in on your legs, he's very good at staying chained on and making it work. It's the moving into the grappling range, which I don't think he likes. And I feel like because he's got such a powerful left hand that he pitches it over and over again, it's almost always to set up his level change. Yeah.
du Plessis reminds me a bit of... What's this fighter's name? Marquez Budakowski. He just fought. He fought.
Modestus.
Modestus.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Right. Like I get that same type of.
He's kind of very springy and kind of a bit,
but a bit stiff at the same time.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I feel like these are both going to be tied after the first round, and it's going to be a 15 minutes of kind of sloppy, scrappy. Brunson trying to get takedowns, maybe getting takedowns. Du Plessis threatening off the floor and trying to get back to his feet. Yeah, I'm not mad excited about this one, if I'm honest. Tailor the tape quickly. 23-8 for Derek Brunson, 18-2 for du Plessis. Both 6'1". Derek Brunson has a 1-inch reach advantage. Considerably higher striking output for du Plessis, but then again, you've got to look at the opponents they've fought, and Derek Brunson's probably had a far tougher run so far.
Yeah,
been able to land far less strikes.
What did you think about his performance versus Jared Cannonier?
I just thought he looked terrified when he couldn't get the takedown.
Yeah.
I mean,
Jared Cannonier is terrifying.
Yeah, he's terrifying. I don't blame him for looking terrified, but I do think that's the like if you take away the option of him taking the fight to the floor, then panic sets in. It's like sometimes I feel like he won't try and take someone down because he doesn't want to know that he can't.
Yeah.
Right? Might be the situation in this fight. If du Plessis is able to threaten a knee, uppercut, keep moving, keep changing his line so he's not there for a sprint takedown from Brunson, because Brunson is always head down, hands wide, bent over at the waist when he's level changing as well. It's not like he's not a wicked level changer. You know what I mean? It's why he runs people into the fence and works his takedowns from there.
Yeah, but you don't think after him seeing Darren Till take Du Plessis down, he's going to be like, oh, you know what? I have confidence because Darren Till doesn't do takedowns ever.
Yeah,
and,
potentially.
He landed them.
But I also think we can't underestimate Du Plessis being ready to defend takedowns over and over again because he's fighting Derek Brunson.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what he's up against here because what's Derek Brunson going to do? He's going to pitch his left hand at you over and over again. He's going to try and wrestle you to the floor where he can, sit in half guard and chip away at you. I mean, Du Plessis he's on a 6-fight win streak. His last loss was the rematch against Soldich.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that fight was wicked.
Wicked fight. Both of them were great fights. Really good. He's got good wins on his record, against tough guys. That finish against Marquez Perez was beautiful. Trevin Giles was a beautiful performance. Brad Tavares and Darren Till are both incredibly tough tests. I didn't think Darren Till looked himself. I don't think Darren Till has for his last few fights, but still, he's a durable, tough guy to deal with, especially on the feet and especially when you're gassed. And because both, and I don't mean to insult them in any way, I really don't. But because both of these guys have got kind of a sloppy style anyway, I feel like they're less. Their effectiveness is less affected by their being gassed. Because
does
that make sense?
Yeah.
Because they're a little bit kind of sloppy and untidy. Then when they run out of gas and they are sloppy and untidy,
it doesn't look that much different.
It doesn't look too much different. No, I think this one's going to be a bit of a mess. And I am actually going to take Du Plessis by decision.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's just going to be able to do more. I feel like he's going to be hitting Brunson wherever he is. I think Brunson's going to be trying to hold him and clinch him. He's not going to want to strike with him. And if Du Plessis can hustle off the fence a couple of times, start smashing the inside of Brunson's lead leg, I think he runs away with this on a decision.
I'm going to go for Derek Brunson.
Oh, you really? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Although Du Plessis is on a great run right now.
Yeah, and he's just been wrecked by Jared Cannonier. And if you look at his record, and I'm only just noticing this, he tends to have 2 losses back-to-back. He does, right?
Oh, no.
Look at that. He had a split decision, lost to Kendall Grove, and then he got knocked out by Jacare. The only single loss on his record is to Yoel Romero. But then he went on, a 5-fight win streak before losing to Whittaker and Anderson Silva. Then he won 2 fights, Daniel Kelly and Lyoto Machida. Then he lost to Jacare again and Adesanya. And then he's won 5 again and he's lost. So he's due to lose another one.
Yeah, but look who he's winning. Losing to
pattern.
Robert Whittaker.
It's the pattern.
Okay.
There's a pattern.
Anderson Silva.
There's rules to this shit.
Jacare. Is he?
We know MMA
He's going to
math
break
works
it
every time. Do you think he is?
Yeah, he's going to break the pattern.
I love your confidence. I just don't share it, I'm afraid. I think Du Plessis is going to do it. I think he's going to continue this momentum.
Oh, no.
What? You see the pattern now, don't you?
I see the pattern.
You see the
That's
pattern.
not good.
Yeah, you see the pattern. Yeah. No, Du Plessis do another what? Hang on.
Yeah,
He's doing another 2 wins before he picks up a loss. So that probably get him into the top 10, right? Is he top 15 yet? Oh, he is. He is.
Yeah,
number 10
I feel
right
like
now.
he would be if he's fighting Derek Brunson.
Yeah, but you never know.
Okay, I'm going Derek Brunson. I'm
Okay.
kind of going underdogs this card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how do you think he's going to do it? Brunson's at number 5 at the moment.
I think second round elbow.
Yes.
Yeah. Just return the favor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pass it forward.
Okay, fair enough. No, I'm taking Du Plessis. Okay, this is a good fight. This is a good scrap. I feel like they're really trying to get a win on Garbrandt's record, and I'm not mad at it because I do like Garbrandt as a fighter. I enjoy watching him. So Cody Garbrandt against Trevin Jones.
Mm-hmm.
So hang on a minute. Let me just see if UFC stats is the same records. Looks like it. So Cody Garbrandt with a record of 12 wins and 5 losses. Trevin Jones with a record of 13 wins and 9 losses with 1 no contest. 1-inch height advantage for Cody Garbrandt, but it's a 5-inch reach advantage for Trevin Jones. That's mad, isn't it? At what point would your reach advantage need to be such that you could put your hand on somebody's head and they couldn't reach you with punches?
You have to fight children. That's what I do with kids.
Like if Jon Jones was fighting, I don't know who.
Like probably if he was fighting me.
Like how far up the weight classes would you have to go before you know what I mean? Like Jalen Turner's a lightweight, but he's like 6'4".
Yeah, but he's an anomaly.
Yeah, exactly.
Of a lightweight.
Yeah, for sure. But I wonder what weight class Jon Jones can hold all of them off with his hand. I wonder if like flyweight. I wonder if he can hold it.
Definitely a flyweight. Yeah, for sure.
Do you reckon he could hold off all bantamweights with just one hand on their forehead? These are serious questions.
They would like move out of the way.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking like comedy movie style, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. I would say up to like lightweight.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah.
What, they'd be like swinging for him?
Yeah.
But Jalen Turner though, he's got a massive reach.
That's how you feel like you would do if you fight against Volkanovski, but he has long reach.
He does.
So you're doing it,
and he'll punch you in the balls as well.
He can still like jack.
Okay, so Cody Garbrandt has 83% takedown offense compared to 66% for Trevin Jones. One takedown average per 15 minutes, half a takedown average per 15 minutes for Trevin Jones. I think this one's going to be a bit of a banger, isn't it? I expect Trevin Jones, if he feels Garbrandt's power, to try and close distance. But I kind of feel like this one's set up for Cody Garbrandt to pick up a big TKO finish. No?
But...
Oh.
And this is a bit like messed up.
Okay.
Because it was a no contest against Timur Valiev.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
We saw Trevin come back from the trenches.
Yeah, that's because he had Dr. Green Thumb in his corner, though, wasn't it? You know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, I thought you were making a Dr. Green joke because it was a no contest due to marijuana.
That is exactly what I was doing.
Oh, okay.
Dr. Green Thumb. Cypress Hill, no? Oh, we need to update your music on your phone.
Okay, I'm...
Boom, boom, boom. There are people at home going, hello, my name is Dr. Green Thumb.
Oh, okay. I thought that was just like his walkout music, and it was because he had that... Oh.
That would be the best walkout music to go out to.
Yeah. First with the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, where I had to buy the book so I could better research what was going on.
That probably confused you even more, though, because
the
book's nothing like the movie.
Way more.
The book's not like the movie.
It was so confusing to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, he came back from
the dead.
From the dead.
Came out in a cloud of smoke.
In that second round, came back and did wicked with his lead hand.
Yep.
And then against Mario Bautista, which Mario, I reckon he's, top up
good.
there. Should be top 5, in my opinion, based on, skill level. Yeah. That lead uppercut, that lead hand when he lands it is pretty bad.
So are you saying there's going to be an upset here? Are you trying to tell me that Trevin Jones is going to beat Cody Garbrandt?
Well, this is what I wanted to ask you, because people are like, oh, Cody doesn't have a chin anymore.
Okay.
Is that a real thing? Is not having a chin anymore a real thing?
I think so? I think you're more susceptible to getting knocked out if you've been knocked out recently. Yes, for sure. I don't know how much time. It's something that's never been researched, right? It's never been looked into, as far as I know, as far as I understand. What makes sense to me? So unconsciousness is the brain's self-defense mechanism, right? Mm-hmm. So if you get caught with a big punch and you get knocked out, it's the first time you've been knocked out, your brain's gone, oh my goodness, quick shutdown, sleep, right?
Okay.
The next time, I feel like if you don't give your brain time to kind of let its guard down and relax a little bit,
yeah.
Like if you go in the next month and you take another big shot, the brain's like, we remember this, quick shutdown, and you might not have to get hit quite as hard the next time around.
Okay.
Right? I feel like if that happens in quick succession, like if you get knocked out on a Tuesday and then knocked out a week on Thursday and then knocked out, 2 weeks on Saturday, then all that time has shortened your ability to take a shot, shortened the amount of power that you're able to absorb without going unconscious. It's almost like what it feels like to me is when someone's like, I've been knocked out one time cleanly in a fight. I've been dropped a couple of times in a Thai boxing match, and I got knocked out once at ATT sparring. Like that's it. And I've never felt like... I remember after the Condit fight feeling like it was going to take me a few weeks to kind of get my chin back. I know it kind of sounds strange, but it's like to kind of reassure my body that I don't need to shut down immediately if I get caught with a shot.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it's never been looked into, but what I will say is if someone's been knocked out fairly consistently over a career of about 10, 15 years, Like, Johnny Walker's a good example. Like, he doesn't take a shot well for someone his size. And I feel like it's because he keeps taking shots, right? Who was it that dropped him 3 times in a fight? Was it before his UFC career?
No.
He got dropped, and then he got up, and then he got dropped. And then Corey Anderson did the same thing to him. And then Ryan Spann dropped him a couple of times.
Yeah, Ryan Spann's the one I was thinking about.
He doesn't take a shot the way that he should for a man his size, right? He's a big dude. You remember seeing him at Bellator in Dublin?
Yeah.
Like, he's a big dude, heavily muscled. But it seems like his brain has always got its finger on the button of quick shutdown.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
So do you think Cody Garbrandt is now at that point? Because his last fight was a knockout, right? And he lost the knockout to Pedro Muniz, TJ Dillashaw. So
I kind of feel like he might be there, yeah. I kind of feel like... But the thing is with Cody, like, whenever you put yourself in range to knock him out, you're also in range to be knocked out.
Yeah.
Like, the one win out of his last 6 fights was a Sun Sao.
Yeah.
Backed him against the fence, bite down the mouthpiece and go. Right? And I feel like that's Cody Garbrandt through and through. Especially because we talked about it with Yair, who did get emotional in that first round and ran onto a punch like I thought he might. But he was able to recover and get it back together, get back on track. Yair Rodriguez showed me that he's turned that corner, and it was great to see it. Because now I feel like, okay, now let's get him in a title shot. Because I feel like he's reached that level of maturity where that maybe was his last lesson at being too overzealous when he ran onto that big punch.
Yeah.
I feel like Garbrandt's never reached that level. He's never got to the point where he's like, hang on a minute, let me outbox these guys. Because like
because he has the ability to do it.
He just
100%.
Gets wild. He just gets drawn in and angry. Like his best performance of his career was against Dominic Cruz.
Yeah,
it was sensational,
beautiful.
And he was cruising. He was dancing. He was doing push-ups. It was the best performance of his whole career, undefeated at that time. But then you bring emotion into it with TJ Dillashaw. That's 2 losses to Dillashaw, right? Stopped twice. Then he fights Pedro Munoz, who normally beats people up fairly consistently for 15 minutes, not necessarily knocking people out. Stopped him in the first round. That punch against the Sun Sao, he was backed up against the fence, eyes closed, bite down his mouthpiece. And then, Rob Font beat him up for 5 rounds, and Kai Kara France stopped him in the first. It doesn't seem like he's ever been able to recover from the...
But do you think some of that might have to do with emotion? Because, okay, with Dominic Cruz, if you're able to do, like, push-ups and, like, show boasting and stuff, and then you lose and you get knocked out, you're just nervous about it.
For sure.
You're not going to go in with the same confidence that allowed him to make all these great performances.
Absolutely. But I would also say that the relaxed version of Cody Garbrandt against Dominic Cruz could take the shots better from Kai Kara France, TJ Dillashaw, Pedro Munoz. If he was more relaxed, he would have taken those shots better.
Is it too far now to, like... What I'm trying to say is, like, has he gone so far down that route that he can't be relaxed anymore?
Well, look, I mean, his last fight was December 11th, 2021.
Yes.
Right? So he's had over 12 months out.
Yeah.
As long as he's been smart with his recovery and he's not been brawling in the gym every week and he's let himself recover and he's kind of, again, you've got to kind of put this stuff into perspective. Like, he has to be able to look at what's happened and reflect on it. Right, he was 11-0. He's the bantamweight champion of the world. Then he lost 5 of his next 6, and he was stopped in 4 of them. Like, he has to be able to take that experience for what it is and put it into perspective and move past it. And it's not an easy thing to do. It's really not. Like, I mean, when I was on a 4-fight losing streak, I took a bunch of time out. I think I had about 9 months where I was out like 6 months to kind of get my head together, 3 months to get myself ready to compete again.
Yeah.
And I felt like it was necessary. I still felt like it was quite a quick turnaround. I wouldn't have minded another 3 months. Garbrandt's given himself that time. He's also got the right opponent here, who's not a massive puncher anyway, is he? Like, what's he got? Three stoppages on his record, I think?
Yeah, 3 TKO.
Yeah, 3 TKOs in 13 wins. He's never been stopped, which is a psychological bonus for him, but he's not a massive puncher for this weight, I wouldn't say. No,
it was just that punch that he got Timur and Mario with that lead hand.
Yeah. He's only got one KO on his record.
Because they took away that Timur win. Timur.
Yeah, it was still originally a TKO though. He was still a bat.
He dropped it.
Yeah,
and then like killed him with
originally
elbows.
a TKO.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, Garbrandt can put you down with a shot, a single shot, and I think that's something that Trevin Jones doesn't necessarily have. I mean, he might prove me wrong. And the other thing as well is Garbrandt moving back up to bantamweight, isn't he? Is this a bantamweight? Yeah, it's a bantamweight fight. His last one was a flyweight.
Yeah, I remember him in an interview saying, "Oh, I don't like to be full, and I don't like to eat much, so that's why I think I can make 125."
Yeah, I know he doesn't. I know he didn't cut much weight, but I just.
Do you want him to be like at his strongest?
Yeah, for sure. Especially because he is a power puncher. And one other thing I'll say about is like his emotional state as well. And I feel like this is reflected in it was reflected in early Dustin Poirier. If you look at Dustin Poirier now, it generally affects him for like the first 60 or 90 seconds of a round. He's a bit more tense, which means he's a bit easier to clip and hurt. I feel like Garbrandt, when he's relaxed, is going to be far more difficult to stop. It depends on what his mindset is coming into this one.
Yeah.
But I'm picking Garbrandt. I
think Garbrandt is the better fighter.
Oh, that sounds doubtful. That sounds like...
I just don't know.
That sounds like you're going to pick against him.
If Garbrandt is going to be Garbrandt.
No?
Does that make sense? Like, is he going to be himself?
Yeah.
Is he going to be the...
Is he going to be TJ Dillashaw? I hope not. I'm just trying to confuse you. I'm just trying to throw off your pick, that's all. Because I feel like you're going to pick the opposite way, and you might be right.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm kind of going for underdogs a lot in this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might go like Trevin Jones.
Oh.
Just because of how he recovered from Timur. But like he was getting like kicked and elbowed badly. It wasn't like a shot. It was pretty brutal things, and he was taking it well.
So you reckon he can take a clean shot from Garbrandt? If Garbrandt's taken 12 months to get himself right and he comes back in...
Yeah, but has he? Or has he been showing up at sparring and like trying to kill each other? Because that's usually what happens.
This is what you've got to figure out. This is where you get your pick. I think Garbrandt's done the right things. And I think he's taken some time off and he's realised how much potential he has. Right? I'm erring on the side of optimism.
Yeah.
Apparently,
that's
my
why
sunglasses
your picks are
look
bad.
better on you. Williams C84 thinks my shades look better on you than they do on me. I don't think that's a good thing. I think they look much better on me. And you've upped the female viewership by 300%. Well done, Chris Gay, for doing that maths. I couldn't have figured that out, but it sounds great. 300% sounds much better than me saying 3%. So we'll go with that. Well done, you, on your 3%. And who knows, it might creep up to 4 with now you've stole my cool sunglasses.
Oh, there we go.
So did you finally make a pick on Garbrandt, or are you still...
I think I'm going to go on with Trevin Jones.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
What, stopping him or decisioning him?
Either a second round stoppage or like a decision.
Okay. I think Garbrandt's
like
going to be
a
the
bad
first
round
for... You reckon?
For Trevin. Like, first round is going to be horrible for Trevin.
Dropped, hurt, scrambling,
and
bloodied.
Then he comes back in second and third round and shows us a heart of, what is it, the Green Man?
Dr. Green Thumb.
Yeah, the Green Thumb.
The Green Thumb.
Yeah. All right, next one.
Okay. Main card. First fight on the main card, yeah?
Yes.
Bo Nikel against Jamie Pickett. This is a tough test for Bo Nikel, considering he's only had 3 MMA fights and they've all been very, very short.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's set up for him to be impressive, and I think Jamie Pickett is the ideal opponent for him to do that. But if he's going to be tested, it's going to be someone with Jamie Pickett's kind of experience that is, big, strong athlete with a brown belt in jiu-jitsu that is, would prefer to stand and trade.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
know what I thought was, because there's a lot of hype behind Bo Nikel making his debut, like massively.
And deservedly so as well. I mean,
absolutely.
he is fantastic. Trained by Kel Sanderson. I trained with him once before.
Yeah, how was that?
It was brutal.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's a wrestler, so
yeah, it was
all
awful.
those trainings are freaking brutal.
Yeah, it was brutal.
Do one wrestling session, you're like, okay, I'm gonna lay down for like next week.
Yeah. He's good friends with Ricky Lundell. They came into the Batcave one day when I was training there and, shared a bit of knowledge. Really interesting guy. Really has a real presence, like a quiet presence. But you can definitely tell he's an absolute beast of of an athlete, and you lock up with him, and he's just physically.
Yeah, I think that's how Bo Nickel's going to be like if you lock up with him, especially from all the experience he has in wrestling, NCCA or whatever.
NCAA.
Yeah.
He was Penn State. He wrestled out of Penn State under Cal Sanderson. He's, and then and the thing is, like, as a kid, he had visions of being a championship wrestler, and then as he was a championship wrestler, he had visions of turning that into a successful MMA career. You can tell that he was ready to make the transition before he did. His first fight was on Icon, Masvidal's thing. Not the guy out, clean punches, rocked him with a shot, and then stepped in and finished him with a.
It was weird that he like kind of tripped on a kick or something in the beginning, like the first 20 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not being showed.
But then he comes out against Barriault on the Contender Series and lands a beautiful takedown.
A little bit more like I'm just gonna stick to
what I do.
Not what I do, but like the easiest path to victory, which is like, why should I do that when I can just finish a fight in 20 seconds? Especially because he's so much levels ahead in that department. And what I thought was strange is that in the embedded video, they mentioned this fight. And they always mention just the main and co-main because they're usually like the title fights. They don't. I can't remember one that I've seen.
Yeah, no. Normally they would.
The first fight on the main card. That's the one that they feature. It wasn't even.
Dan Hardy, Marcus Davis. That's the only one.
There we go.
No, I mean it's the same thing.
Not common though.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, the reason why that happened with UFC 99 was because Davis and I were having that back and forth, and it was causing a bit of a stir. So the UFC did a little feature on it to kind of promote it, and we were first fight on the main card to make sure that when they went live on the pay-per-view, the crowd were going mental. That was the point. And it's the same reason why they've put him here, I would imagine. Like, Jamie Pickett's a good striker. Like, 8 knockouts out of 13 wins on his record. He has been stopped twice by strikes. He has been submitted 3 times. And I kind of do feel like the UFC see this as like Daukaus was able to submit him.
If he would have just like taken his hand out a bit slower, like 1 second slower, he would have. He tapped on the buzzer, dude. It was like a bit sad for him.
But the thing is, once you've decided that you've had enough, it doesn't really matter whether there's 1 second or 50 seconds.
Yeah, it's just like with Charles as well. 5 seconds left. Charles Beard.
Yeah, Bird, yeah.
Yeah, it's just having so little time left. If I'm Bo Nickel, I'm just like... Yeah.
Charles Bird's a good wrestler as well. I feel like this is an opportunity to get a decent name and a good test on Bo Nickel's record without overextending him too much.
Yeah, I like the flying knee that Pickett throws.
Yeah.
He landed a lot, especially earlier in his career.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, like, because Bo Nickel's now had a couple of finishes in the way people would expect, he might want to try and step outside of his comfort zone a bit. Like, and that might be a mistake against Jamie Pickett, but I kind of only see that as being the only way in for Pickett.
Yeah.
Like, this really should be a first round submission for Bo Nickel. He should probably take him down, beat him up for about 2 minutes, and then arm triangle. Yeah, triangle, rear naked choke. That's kind of what I'm thinking he's gonna finish this one with. It should be a dominant performance because I feel like as soon as he gets his hands on Pickett, he's going to be able to put him on the floor. And once Pickett's on the floor, I don't see how he gets back up without being broken back down or submitted in the process.
Yeah, and he's been training over in Colorado, I believe, for this one instead of at American Top Team.
Who has Bo Nickel?
Yeah, Bo Nickel. Yeah, from the videos, I think he's training.
Elevation.
Yes.
Yeah. So he can benefit from the elevation.
He also has like 6 steak videos. This might
steak videos.
Yeah, you know what?
Like cooking steak.
Cooking
like
steak. Yeah, I remember watching one, and he was just like, "And you done all this work, so you better let the steak rest for 10 minutes, and don't." And now when I'm making steak, I'm just like, "Wait 10 minutes. You've done all this work."
But at least you're learning something from the UFC program.
The amount of like stupid things that just replay in my head when an instant happens is ridiculous.
Yeah, try and remember some of his wrestling as well if you can. It's like, didn't get much wrestling off him, but cooking tips. You won't know it, but the steaks are wonderful.
I'm mean, they look good. You got like Wagyu and stuff like that. Those are expensive steaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I haven't even seen a Wagyu up close.
A Wagyu.
What's the steak called?
A Wagyu? Aren't they like wives and girlfriends of footballers? Wagyu Club. Oh, it's a different type of beef, isn't it? Isn't that where they like suspend the cows and like moisturize them with...
I don't know.
Rub them in coconut oil. And
I don't know. It's like more marble looking.
Oh, so they're basically, yeah.
It's like cube bacon.
Okay. So basically it sounds like some kind of animal cruelty where they put them in a box where they can't move to burn off that fat. And then they give them loads and loads of fatty shit to eat so they get all nice and marbled. Marbled means obese. Like next time you see someone,
and their fat is called marble.
Exactly. Look at the marbling. Wonderful marbling. Yeah, no, I'm sure that he has wonderful cooking tips. But what do you think about his wrestling potential, and what do you think about his future MMA career?
I think it's great, and it's also like folk style wrestling.
Yes,
which is a lot more applicable to MMA.
Yeah.
Bam, that's probably the best thing I said. All the
harmonicas.
I hate you sometimes.
What?
Like all the time.
I can't help it. Whenever they say folk style wrestling, I just picture like a
immediately.
You know what I mean? It's like, what's the Old Crow Medicine show? You know the Old Crow Medicine show? Methamphetamine Blues. Someone knows. I am throwing out music references left, right, and centre, and neither Jamie or Veronica are any use at my music references.
Sorry, we'll bring Owen next time.
I don't know. Although Owen will know Old Crow Medicine show for sure. You can ask him that on Full Reptile Radio podcast. He will know them. They're really good. Definitely worth a look at. Okay, which way are you going on this one? Did I do Taylor the Tape, Jamie? Have we done Taylor the Tape yet? Okay, Taylor the Tape. Bo Nickal, 3-0, undefeated. Average fight time, 57 seconds. Jamie Pickett, 13 wins and 8 losses. Average fight time, 9 minutes and 36 seconds. A little bit longer. 1-inch height advantage for Jamie Pickett. 4-inch reach advantage for Jamie Pickett. Southpaw the Orthodox makes that single leg a little bit easier to grab, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You see, all the stats are kind of like you don't. Well, this is how unnecessary the stats are to look at from this point onwards. 0% takedown defense for Bo Nickal. Should that not be 100% because no one's taken him down, but no one's attempted to take him down? But this is the stat that you're going to love. Average takedown per 15 minutes. 23.68. It's because his average fight time is 57 seconds.
I don't think he's ever...
So that's based on what? 2 takedowns per minute, basically. Right? Is that right?
Yeah.
Hang on, where's Chris Gabe with the maths, the 300% guy? He should know. 100% takedown accuracy. I just, yeah. I think Jamie Pickett's going to have a really hard time making it out the first round. I'm picking Bo Nickal by arm triangle.
With 3 seconds left. That seems to be, yeah.
It's not going to be much. It's not going to be much longer than his normal fights, I don't think. But I think it will be longer. I can imagine him having to take Jamie Pickett down and soften him up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he is a brown belt. He is going to be at least aware of what Bo Nickal's trying to work on him. Even if he can't stop it, he might be able to slow it down. I'm thinking we'll get about half a round out of Bo Nickal this time, and he'll finish by it. I can see an arm triangle.
It's a bit like when Gamrot was coming up.
Yeah.
You know.
That's
like
the fight.
Really,
that's the fight.
I think that's kind of
right?
what they want to make.
That's Rocky against Ivan Drago, isn't it? That right? We get Gamrot running on a treadmill in that Warlord's palace, and then we'll get Bo Nickal wrestling sides of beef on a plane in Oklahoma.
Like rich beef.
Yeah, Wagyu beef. Marbled.
I've never even touched it.
It won't be marbled. Wagyu. It won't be marbled. This beef would be the super, super tough beef because it's been wrestling against Bo Nickal for a whole training camp. Okay, I'm going Bo Nickal. I would imagine.
Me too.
Are you going the same way? Yeah. Do you give if they fought 10 times, does Jamie Pickett win any of them?
Maybe like after the 10th time.
Okay. So once he's been beaten
once
by
he's learned like the wrestling,
it's going to take him 10 fights to learn that, is it?
Yeah.
It depends how long the fights are, I suppose. If they're all 57 seconds long, then maybe not. Yeah, I think Bo Nickal. I'm a sucker for the UFC marketing, and I can see the game they're playing, so they're clearly high on this kid, as they should be. And Jamie Pickett, Although I did find it weird on the Countdown show, because I actually don't watch the Countdown shows too much anymore. I tend to give them a miss. Why they've got loads of good footage of Bo Nickal, like old school wrestling and all that kind of stuff, and then they've got Jamie Pickett riding around on a quad bike, like harassing the neighborhood. Do you know what I mean? He's like riding past all broken down houses, like standing up on his quad bike. I'm like,
and then like I would have been in jail. My friend got shot in the head, and I'm just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah,
this is rough.
Yeah. And the Jon Jones bit as well. I was going to mention this a bit later on, because DC's in commentary, isn't he? DC and the return of Joe Rogan, which I'm very excited about. I'm interested to see DC's commentary, but I did notice in the Countdown show that of all the fights that they've got of Jon Jones and of all the highlight reels, they kept showing the TKO over Daniel Cormier, the pictogram fight. Like, if I'm Daniel Cormier watching this, I'm like, he failed a drug test. It's a no contest. They've shown it 3 times now, Daniel Cormier getting hit in the head. All lovely and marbled and wobbling against the fence. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, Daniel Cormier should be having a word with the UFC.
Yeah.
Why are you putting this in there? He was pictograms at that point.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to make their mind up. Got to make their mind up. Like, I was going to put some Matt Hamill clips in on the breakdown show for BT, and I thought to myself, no, someone's going to complain because it was a no contest, although there are some really good highlight reels in that fight. He was smashing Matt Hamill.
Yeah.
It was literally a no contest. The opposite way. Like, Matt Hamill should have been stopped before that point. It was just dominant. I'm very excited for Jon Jones to be back. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Did you make a pick on this one? Did we say both say Bo Nickal?
We both did, and then you got off topic.
I didn't go off topic. That doesn't sound like me.
Jon Jones, is he the fight we're talking about?
He's coming. This card is Jones v. Gane, so, we are on subject at least.
Oh, okay. Well, at least.
Okay, right. Let's move on. Mateusz Gamrot.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gamrot. Big fans of Gamrot. Against Jalen Turner. Big fans of Jalen Turner. Who has a lot of tarantulas, apparently.
He does.
He has a lot of tarantulas.
It's not just like
200 of them or something.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, right? I imagine him to be he could be like a good DC Comics villain. You know what I mean? Like in a lair, like covered in spiders' webs and stuff, and like the bad side of Spider-Man, or like him against
Venom.
Yeah, there you go, Venom. There you go. I'm not cool with the kids. I don't keep up with the comic book movies. So Gamrot is a very good fighter. We're a big fan of Gamrot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like that late. Like a month, I think he got. Because short notice replacement. Sorry.
Who was replaced?
Gamrot replaced Jalen Turner's official
initial
card. Yeah, initial.
Oh, it was Dan Hooker.
Yeah, which was more of a striker anyway.
Yeah.
To turn into like a super wrestler, that's quite the change.
Yeah.
I
always enjoy Gamrot's fights. His UFC debut against Kutateladze was just a pleasure to be octagon side for. And then he went on a 4-fight win streak after losing that split decision. Knocked out Holzman, Kimura, Jeremy Stevens, which was beautiful. That knee to the body against Verheide. Yeah, it was a good fight up until that point. But that knee, you could see it right as he dug it into the ribs. You saw Verheide go, oh no, that's bad. And then Sarukian was an absolute scrap for 5 rounds. Really good fight.
Didn't Khabib say that it was an exemplary fight of wrestling?
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah, he was really excited about that fight.
Sarukian's a very strong wrestler, as well as we saw against Makhachev when he made his debut. Yeah. But then Dariush just showed how good he is. I picked Gamrot, didn't I? I think we both did for that. I was surprised at Dariush's takedown offense in that.
I liked how he was linking an arm and then also crucifixing an arm while defending the takedown. Yeah. That was pretty sick. Like his legs and arms into this,
wrapped around him.
Yeah,
like an angry fur coat. Yeah.
I'm trying to picture what tool does this?
What tool does that? The Gamrot tool. No, the Neal Dariush tool.
What? I don't know. I'm sad this is live. We can't edit all this out.
Now, the interesting challenge in this one for Gamrot is the fact that Jalen Turner's huge.
Yes.
6'3", 77-inch reach. So that is a 5-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. Higher striking output for Jalen Turner, 6.48 compared to 3.26. Better striking defense from Gamrot. Takedowns, 90% takedown defense for Gamrot. 77% takedown defense for Jalen Turner. Now, of course, Gamrot's going to be shooting more. He's constantly shooting. Low single.
He has the cardio of
It's amazing. It's amazing. They were commenting on it when he was fighting Barriault. It was just constant one after the next, after the next. Really, really impressive pace. I mean, I think, of course, he's going to be able to get to the legs of Jalen Turner. And I think if I'm fighting Jalen Turner and I had a low single, it would probably be the safest takedown to use.
Yeah.
Because if you clinch him, it's going to be difficult to destabilize him with a body lock, with him being so tall.
Especially because he goes a lot for guillotines and stuff. Yeah. That's always an option. But when he fought Matt Frivola, he kept going for the guillotine. But Matt was getting loads and loads of takedowns just whenever he wanted to. Of course, that was in 2019, and we can expect his wrestling to be a lot better than it was then. But
for sure. But you've got to think that Gamrot's going to be trying to take the range away quickly, and he's going to try and put him on the floor.
But when Gamrot had his takedown stuffed, well, over and over again by Barriault, then he didn't, like, he's not as comfortable striking. Like, I love his striking. Like, he'll go for something, not get it, strike and go for something else. Like that chaining, he like chains his wrestling with the striking, with the wrestling again. It's not only chain takedowns, it's like chain MMA. But when he doesn't get those takedowns and he has to just actually commence with strikes, it doesn't look to the same level as his wrestling, because it's not quite as comfortable when he just has to strike. And especially, Jalen Turner is going to be far more comfortable in that range. Good striker, well polished. Michael Bisping telling you the same story every time Jalen Turner fights about the standing up the sofa and watching Anderson Silva and trying to copy him. That's Michael Bisping's story. He was a sparring partner for Bisping for his Rockhold fight and for his Anderson Silva fight, so he's been like pressured and beaten up, because Bisping doesn't have any other gear. He's a bit like Jimmy Warled like that. Yeah. He's like, he just goes and goes and goes. And Jalen Turner's, if he was a consistent sparring partner, that means he was able to keep up. So that puts him in a very, very strong position. I would imagine that this fight's going to be a 15-minute scrap. I think Gamrot is going to be able to push him with the wrestling, but I don't think he's going to be able to keep him on the floor for too long. But I don't think Turner's going to be able to settle enough into his striking to be able to land anything of significance, because Gamrot won't give him that space. Yeah, he just doesn't. But he's so long that, he might catch him like on his way to transition or on his way to go in. Yeah. I mean, if I'm Jalen Turner, I'm thinking knees up the center line. Yeah. Knees to guillotines and then scrambling back to the feet, because I'm expecting Mateus to be really, really low when he's shooting, and I want to try and catch him before he gets that front knee down. Was it Aldo against Cub Swanson, WEC? I think it was Cub Swanson. Level changed and Aldo timed him perfectly with a knee. I could imagine that being a really useful weapon for Turner in this one. But I feel like he's got to keep this fight on the feet, otherwise Gamrot's going to be just kind of a pest on the floor. I mean, of course, Turner's got submissions on his record, but Brock Weaver, Medic, but they're not Gamrot. Gamrot won the ADCC in Europe with ease, like submitting everybody. Yeah. He's really strong. And does Jalen Turner struggle from the same problem that Jon Jones struggles with, which is skinny ankles? Like, if you're a leg locker and you see someone that's got ankles like the handle of a baseball bat, I'm like, I can snap that. Snap it. I don't know. I kind of don't want to pick against Gamrot because I'm such a big fan of his, but I really feel like Jalen Turner's a problem. Yeah, I feel like he is a problem. I wish he would have got like a bit more. Not, I don't wish, because I'm friends with Mateus, obviously, but so your bias is what you're saying then? Yeah, I'm a little bit biased. Of course I am. He's awesome. That's fair. Yeah, he's a nice dude. He used to be my neighbor, so Did he really? Yeah. That's a beautiful dog. But Turner was like, "Oh, I'm gonna beat my third Australian." UFC was like, "Nope. Here's a wrestler. Deal with it. Let's see if you fix the Matt Frivola problem." Yeah. And I just feel like Mateus is such a good wrestler that, I mean, yeah. Yeah? Yeah, I'm going to go with Mateus. Okay. I kind of feel like I'm going to pick Jalen Turner. Okay, then.
I feel like he might catch Gamrot with something like a knee or a kick that was meant to be a body kick, and Gamrot level changes onto it.
Yeah, Mateo's is kind of like blind as well.
Yeah.
His glasses are thick.
Yeah. So you got to get really close to Jalen Turner.
He just goes on the ground.
He might be getting hit, and he thinks he's fighting a whole crowd of people. Yeah. I think I'm picking Jalen Turner.
Okay.
I think he might be able to.
Yeah, I really like Jalen Turner, to be honest. I get really excited every time he fights.
Yeah, be a huge win for him. It would be a huge win for people that really have been following Gamrot and through his career. I think people will respect the fact that if he gets a win over Gamrot, that it would be a good one, but it would be an excellent win.
Yeah, no, it'd be
especially if he's able to stop.
That's like one more to title type of win.
Like, no one's ever stopped Gamrot, right? No. 2 decision losses. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, right, moving on. Welterweights, Jeff Neal against Shavkat Rakhmonov.
Rakhmonov is scary.
Scary dude. Although Jeff Neal's pretty scary, he's just not quite as like polished as Rakhmonov. Like his striking is not as clean. He tends to be just left hand over and over and over again, and uppercut and uppercut and uppercut and hook and hook and.
And it was kind of weird that he kind of like goes towards defense, like that fight with Vicente Luque when Said Saud.
Yeah, and he's going right flank,
get out the fence,
right flank, constantly. Yeah, I kind of can't. I can't. I don't know. I can see Jeff Neal winning this one by cracking Rakhmonov harder than he's ever been punched before, absolutely. But do I think he's going to land that shot? Yeah.
I don't know.
Hands with a Z as well. You got to remember that. You know what I mean? That's even more tough. Zzz. Hands.
Yeah. I feel like Rakhmonov might be a robot.
He's a scary dude. He really is.
He's a bit like a robot. Like, I don't think Terminator type of thing.
He is a scary, scary dude. And the thing is, it's like, well, we were watching a couple of his fights the other day, and the thing that was stood out is that when people lose to him, they're not like angry at themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're like, yeah. As soon as he got hold of me, I knew I was going to lose. You know what I mean? It's like even Neil Magny was just kind of dejected.
And Neil Magny is tough and he's slick and he's a really good veteran. He like tests people. Like, you have to be top level to beat Neil Magny.
For sure.
And let's mention that he doesn't do wrestling. He does combat sambo, because if not, people in the comments are going to go crazy because he don't give combat sambo the...
He's a master of sports in combat sambo and in MMA. And he's also a black belt in Muay Thai.
Oh, I see.
No, he's not. But anyway, yeah, he's a very, very interesting problem for people to solve. He's not had the same kind of overwhelming presence that someone like Chimaev's had. But
maybe he just, because he doesn't talk, he just shows up.
But I feel like his fights have been like his debut against Oliveira was just super clean.
Yeah.
You know?
All of his fights have been super clean.
And Magny was a big win. The Prazeres fight was a weird one because of the height and reach difference. That just looked odd, and Prazeres clearly is not supposed to be in that weight class. So that was kind of one, because I feel like Prazeres, he would beat a lot of people on the roster, even as a welterweight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's a tough, compact, powerful individual, and I think Rakhmonov made that look fairly easy as well. He's a scary and interesting problem. 50% wins, 50% wins by submission. And he's never been the distance either. The longest he's been is 3 minutes and 3 seconds into the third round. And that's when he won the KZ MMAF Welterweight Championship. Battle of Nomads.
That's his nickname as well.
Nomad. What? Yeah. Well, he's from Kazakhstan, isn't he? He's clearly got some nomadic warrior blood running through his veins. There's no doubt about that. I bet he can shoot a bow and arrow off a horse like nobody else. I'm telling you. Like, they
have such good boxing in Kazakhstan as well.
Well, I mean, look at Gennady Golovkin. Yeah. He is fine. And the thing is, with like Triple G, him and his brother, like, the same level as amateurs. It was like they would take it in turns to win the competitions because they were the same weight class. Yeah. And then his brother was like, I think he wants it a little bit more than me. I'll retire and coach him. Like, two brothers from the same family. As we know, we watch a lot of Golovkin. He's an absolute beast. And Rakhmonov he's just looked unstoppable so far. What do you reckon? I don't know as I'm that invested in Jeff Neal because his striking's not as dynamic as I'd like it to be. He's clearly very powerful. He's clearly got big power in his left hand, but he's not very good at finding a home for it sometimes. He tends to hit arms and shoulders and stuff because he's just swinging the same punch over and over again. Like who was it we were watching? Was it the Luque fight?
Yeah, where you were like, body, go for the body.
Yeah, Vicente Luque's literally like wrapped his arms around his head, and he was still trying to punch him through his guard. Of course, it was a win, but he worked.
Yeah, that
he had
second
to work a
round
lot
was
harder.
hard.
Yeah,
because I think he got a 10-8 on that first round.
Yeah.
I mean, he almost stopped him like 4 times or something. Not 4, but
yeah,
a lot of times. But then in that second round, he really struggled, and it turned out to be like
yeah,
a lot closer than it needed to be.
exactly that. It didn't need to be that close, I didn't think. And then he's obviously got the decision loss to Wonder Boy, who's an excellent striker, and then he's got a decision loss to Neil Magny, who was dominated by Rakhmonov. I kind of feel like we're going to see Shavkat get another finish here.
Yeah,
I feel
me
like
too.
he might have to use his wrestling a bit more in this one, get the fight to the floor a bit quicker. Take
Combat
Jeff Neal out
sambo.
of his he's got to use his combat sambo, and he's master of sports in MMA to get the fight to the floor. And I think he'll sub him. One submission loss on. Oh, his first loss. Jeff Neal's first loss was rear naked choke. I can see him picking up another submission loss here. I think Rakhmonov's going to do it. Shakhmonov, Top Cat. Dude's a killer. Are we going?
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you saying it?
First round and something.
Something
It's
first round.
50-50 knockout and
Something first round. First
and
round
submissions.
something.
I think first round submission.
Okay. Right. Moving on.
Yes.
Co-main event.
Yes.
Valentina Shevchenko defending her flyweight title against Alexa Grasso.
Yep.
What's your first thought? Because you said something the other day that was interesting. I wonder if you're going to repeat it on the podcast.
Well, I don't know what it was that was interesting. I feel like I say a lot of interesting things all the time.
The fact that you were grinning before you said that, it means you were like, this is a good line.
Yeah.
This is a good line.
It was a good one.
Wait for it, everybody. You said that you think Alexa Grasso might be able to do it.
Yeah, I think she might be able to do it, I really... Because, like, if we look at... Well, one thing that I thought was interesting was the countdown that showed Valentina training in Japan.
Yep.
I felt that was interesting.
Yeah, that was an interesting
Right.
move. Because it sounds like she was out there because of that new training partner that she has. I can't remember his name, unfortunately. But he's... Yeah, it was
don't
an
count
odd,
on me.
and the thing is, I know that gym. Like I've heard of that gym a lot. There's been several good fighters that have come out of the Perestra. I think it's called Perestra. There's a lot of good fighters have come out of that gym over the years. It's been around for a long while. I remember seeing it on people's shorts all the way through like Pride Days and like Dream and Deep and all the other Japanese events. I wonder why. I mean, she is a bit nomadic in the way that she trains.
Do you think it might be because, obviously, like we see Brandon Moreno train there a lot, and Alexa Grasso has been doing a lot of things for UFC Spanish, so she's probably been at the PI, working there with something, and then you have like the UFC Spanish team that's there. So do you
reckon
think
she's trying to be covert then? You reckon she's trying to get away from the UFC?
Yeah, because
eyes?
she's trained with Brandon Moreno before.
Yeah.
You've seen pictures of her training with him, and Brandon Moreno is obviously going to have favoritism for Alexa, who's known for way longer and is also Mexican,
Yeah.
So maybe I think some of it might have been to do with that.
Maybe.
Makes sense.
That would make sense. But still, like of all the gyms, that was
to go
that's
to
an odd
like
one
Japan
to
go back to Las Vegas to fight is kind of the fight's in Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. I'm not exactly sure. I'm not exactly sure why.
Maybe she just went to Japan to be like train more in judo, or like didn't like getting taken down by Telia Santos.
You reckon? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah. She move around though, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does because she
settles at
has
weird gyms
her coaches her sister's husband.
Yes. Yeah.
She's like, you marry the guy, he trains me.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal.
It's a great deal for her.
But like, I mean, like she does seem to travel around to train. But I wonder if there was something specific about why she went there, or that might be a good observation, that she was just trying to get away from the UFC eyes.
Yeah.
The UFC PI.
That makes sense.
Because there's some eyeballs at the UFC PI, and word gets around. And if they want you to have that belt around your waist, they'll do what they can to help you get there.
Yeah. And with already 2 Mexicans becoming champion, and Brandon Moreno start of the year, then we have Yair. Can you imagine if we get Alexa Grasso and then Irene Aldana?
Look at that.
With the UFC just opening a PI in Mexico as well.
Bring back Cain Velasquez.
That's it.
Right.
That's it. Like, and it'll obviously be great for the division, a new champion to shake things up after Valentine, because this will be her 8th title defense. Yeah. So I think, like, I feel like if the UFC had to choose, they'd probably have Alexa win. You know, if it was up to them. The stats, or like the odds, are not looking good for Alexa Grasso on Tapology. It's 7%. It's not looking good. But I feel like that's a bit unfair. Like, if you saw with Talia Santos, in the end of the fight, she had a big lump on her eye, but that was due largely to a headbutt that might have swayed in the end. I think it was Leatherby that was there, and he scored that fight for Santos, the first 3 rounds. Really, yeah. Which, when I watched it, I scored it that way. I mean, she was pretty close with a rear naked choke several times. So, yeah, and I just feel like Grasso's grappling has gone up massively. You saw it in that Joanne Calderwood fight, or Wooden fight, where she took advantage of a mistake, got the back, and got the rear naked choke. Yes, she used to fight at strawweight, but I think that was probably killing her, man. I remember, I don't know if it was, we were in Chile or where we were, because we were on the same card. And it was like the night before weigh-in. I just remember like seeing her, and she was like, 127, perfect. I was just like, if I was 127 and I had to weigh 116 max the next day, I would be freaking out. Yeah. I would have like a mini heart attack.
See, she's not undersized for this weight class.
No, she's big.
Well, they're both, so tailor the tape, 23-3 for Shevchenko, 15-3 for Alexa Grasso. Both 5'5", both have a 66-inch reach.
Well, standing next to, I've stood next to both of them. I think Grasso's like bigger.
You reckon? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like taller at least.
So if she does beat her, how does she do it then? Because my concern
by
with
decision.
Yeah.
You know.
My concern with Grasso is that she's predominantly a boxer.
Yeah.
Right? And so I feel like she's going to have to be pressuring Shevchenko constantly to be able to keep the fight in the range where she wants it. Because does she really want to clinch with Shevchenko? Probably not, because she's going to end up getting tripped and thrown and end up on the floor working out of a crucifix. And if she stands at range, where she's outside of her boxing range, then she's dealing with Shevchenko's kicks. And you know Shevchenko's not, she's single shots, she's smart decision-making, she's not taking risks, she's not engaging, right?
Yeah, but Alexa's really smart with her defense.
Yeah, but really, she's still got to get around her legs, though. She's still got to get around the side kicks and the high kicks and the body kicks to get into punching range. And the other thing as well is, like, you look at the way that Shevchenko stands. She's got that long lead arm, which makes her feel a lot closer. And then you've got Alexa Grasso, who stands like a boxer,
a bit tight with the guard.
Like so if I'm Shevchenko, I'm kicking at her guard constantly, hands, ribs, legs. Side kick to the midsection over and over again. I'm not worrying too much about this lead hand because it's not there. Like Grasso's got to work her way into range to box and then manage to keep it out of clinch range.
But you don't think like her, because I would imagine she's had help from like Brandon Moreno that's trained with Valentina and all of this, because Valentina, amazing decision making, but I've seen her do similar patterns over and over again. You know, like she has set combos that she does like to do when the opponent goes backwards, when the opponent does like several things, you know, like she does this all the time. So maybe Alexa has studied that into seeing the time to close the distance. Like Talia Santos waited for Valentina to go over this way, closed it and took her down. You know, it wasn't so much a let's see who's stronger in this clinch like Greco style. It was a good timed. So,
yeah, but I would say that Santos is probably more equipped to be able to do that to Shevchenko than Grasso is.
Why do you think Santos is a bigger person, or why do you say that?
I think she's more physical for sure. Yeah. And I think she's got better clinch work. Like, for me, Grasso can win this fight as long as she keeps it in a boxing range. Like you know, you look at what she did to Araujo, of course. Mm-hmm. Ideal. Keep her on the end of your jab, keep moving, keep cracking her. But then Araujo is not. She's far more aggressive crashing into boxing range.
Yeah.
Even when she was kicking and kneeing, she was getting caught with punches. Shevchenko's not going to take those kind of risks, I don't think. And then, you know, you see what she did to Macy Barber, where it was all get off the fence, get out the clinch, bang, bang, bang. You know, stay away from the clinch, stay away from a fighter that was probably a bit more physical than her, especially at that point in her flyweight career.
Yeah.
And then you go back to her strawweight career, and how much weight do you put on the fact that she was taken down and submitted by Suarez, and that she lost the decision to Carla Esparza, who controlled her for over 7 minutes of the fight?
But then, like, Suarez did just come back in flyweight and win second round by like guillotine, so she's kind of like a bit of a special case.
Yeah, and a good wrestler.
Fighter, yeah. And then Carla Esparza was champion twice. And also a good wrestler. But Valentina's not a wrestler. Like, she has really good takedowns where she capitalizes on the moment and clinches and low effort takedowns and the good head and arm throws.
For sure, but I feel like that's when the range closes down. That, like, Grasso doesn't have as much time to get out of the clinch as she would with somebody else, because Shevchenko's not going to clinch her and hold her up against the fence like Macy Barber was. You know, Shevchenko's going to start tripping and reaping and throwing her.
Yeah.
And I don't know as Grasso's going to be able to keep on her feet with that. Like, a takedown defense is not fantastic. Like, 64% takedown defense.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that was just because she fought Carla Esparza and Tatiana Suarez. You know?
Yeah, but you see, so Carla Esparza, I did look into this. I think Carla took her down 4 times out of 11 attempts, if I remember right. Yeah, 4 times out of 11 attempts. So she, you know, that was only a 36% success rate for Esparza, but she was able to control her for over 7 minutes. That's the thing. And then Tatiana Suarez, I think, took her down twice. Minute 41 of control, and of course a rear naked choke. I don't know. I feel like Shevchenko's going to be able to play the bookend ranges. She's either going to be too far away kicking or too close taking her down, and then Grasso's going to find herself in that crucifix, or, you know, in a dominant top position half guard where Shevchenko's just going to chip away at her. That's the way I see it. I think Shevchenko by decision. What are you saying?
I think it's the year of the Mexicans.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay. So she's going to make a piñata out of Shevchenko, is she?
No, I just think it's going to be like a 3-2.
So a close fight.
Yeah, very, very close. I mean, we're talking about Valentina Shevchenko here, who's defended her title already 7 times.
Okay, so what you're saying is that Grasso's going to beat her, but she's going to have to fight her again immediately because it's going to be a close decision.
Yeah, and then maybe
Shevchenko gets a belt back.
Yeah. Maybe, but I think in this one.
Right.
In this one.
Okay, then. All right. Well, shall we move on?
Yeah.
So you're going with Grasso, are you?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Grasso.
By a close decision. I'm going to go Shevchenko by... I'll go 3 rounds to 2 Shevchenko.
Okay.
You go 3 rounds to 2 for Grasso.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Main event time. So the War Room is out for this. I have yet to record the War Room for the co-main event, but I will be doing that shortly. The main event War Room is up. My breakdown show for BT Sport is up as well. If you are outside of the UK, you're going to have to find a way around the geo-blockery. But we know how to do that because we're all clever beans. Yeah. As you all know, I'm looking forward to Jon Jones being back. I think he's the best talent that we've ever seen in MMA. And I think going back and rewatching his early career has reinvigorated that belief. I think Cyryl's fantastic, but I think Jon Jones is something else. And that's kind of my prediction in a nutshell. I think Jon Jones is meaner and he's slicker. I think. In fact, I did say in the War Room, Jamie, right, that he was going to come in as the heavier fighter out of the two. And Jones said the other day in a tweet that he was 250.4 was his weight.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be heavier than Gane. I think he's going to walk him down and beat him up. I think Jones is going to look like a heavyweight. He's going to do to Ciryl Gane what Jon Jones. Well, yeah, what would have been he's going to do to Ciryl Gane what would have been a problem for Jon Jones as a light heavyweight fighting a big heavyweight. Like if Jon Jones was on the other side, being the 22-year-old, 23-year-old, moving in and out, using his speed, the thing that's going to cause him as much problems as it could possibly cause him is someone that presses him up against the fence and beats him up, roughs him up. And with Jones, with that snapping side kick to the lead leg and the midsection and the locking horns, cracking him with elbows, I think there are going to be so many ranges that Cyryl's not really quite ready for against Jones.
I like this conversation. I don't like how this is going. So my buddy,
well, tell me something different then. Shall I quick tell of the tape? Have I done it?
Yeah, do a quick tell of the tape.
And then while you formulate your plan for Ciryl.
Yes.
Okay, so 26-1 for Jon Jones with 1 no contest. You can see that no contest 3 times in the countdown show. DC TKO. I just don't know why they would choose that fight of all the options they've got.
You know what was weird? They didn't mention Francis Ngannou one time.
Of course they didn't.
And then he lost the unification. They didn't mention Francis one time.
I don't think you even saw him, did you, in the countdown show? I think it was just Ciryl leaning up against the fence looking at all the press. Yeah. Although you were in the countdown show.
I was in the countdown show. Right. That's pretty awesome.
Very cool. And my voice was in it very briefly.
Yes.
Going, as I am one to do.
It's not like I was mentioned that I was in. Like, you would only see it if you saw the picture. And then that was just me in it. I'm surprised they didn't zoom in more and cut me out.
I'm telling you, just take that photograph out of the frame and just fold you behind.
It can't because it's connected to the entire wall. It's pretty cool. Every time I go there and I see it, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a good shot. Okay, so 26-1 loss for Jon Jones, which of course was that disqualification. 11-1 for Ciryl Gane. That one loss being to, who was it he lost to again?
I don't know.
It was that
not someone that was in the UFC though.
Not someone that was like a heavyweight champion or anything, no.
No. That Pez people, no.
No, the destroyer of worlds, Francis Ngannou. Okay, both of them are 6'4". Jon Jones has an 84-inch reach advantage. He has a 3-inch reach advantage. I feel like he's lost a half inch on his reach because he used to be 84.5 inches. I don't know what's happened to that half inch, but it's no longer there. It's no longer there. Maybe his back's gotten thicker and it's pulled his arms in a little bit.
Yeah.
I think he's going to look terrifying at heavyweight. I think that takedown that he landed on Walt Harris. And Walt Harris is a chunk right now. He is a 300-pound monster. Do you see him playing pool in that Manchester United shirt? My goodness. He was huge. He is huge. You got him. You got Dontel Mays.
Yeah.
How does he do that wrestling practice with that massive ring in his nose? I would have him take that out. Absolutely, immediately. Jorgen De Castro. Short, stocky. He would have been a good training partner when he was fighting DC, I bet.
Yeah.
I wonder if they were training together then. I also like the fact that Jones has gone back and rented the old Jackson Wink building. That was that's a cool move.
Did he end up getting kicked out of the gym or not? I feel like he's been kicked out 8 times already.
I feel like he left and he's taken a couple of the coaches with him. I don't know who's going to be in his corner for this one, but Izzy will be in his corner, I would imagine. I've seen him on the countdown.
Yeah.
And obviously Six Gun Gibson was there as well.
I wonder if his dog trainer's going to be there. Or he's watching out.
If Jon Jones has trained half as well as his dog's trained, then he'll do as he's told and he'll win this fight. That dog's got some serious discipline. Okay, so of course Jon Jones has a massive experience advantage. I mean, he's 27-0, 28-0 if you count that TKO over Daniel Cormier. Unreal talent, scary creative. Like the weapons that he was using when he was a lightweight, coupled with the physiological advantages that he had over everybody at light heavyweight. I said lightweight then, didn't I?
Yeah.
Like And this is something that people had raised on the breakdown show, because I've used footage. I went back to old school Jon Jones, where he was beating up the legends like Vitor Belfort and Shogun and Machida. They were spectacular performances. Of course, he was fighting guys that were like shorter and had a shorter reach, but they were people that had a lot of experience, champions experience. They were dangerous individuals. That was Vitor on the TRT as well. That wasn't just normal Vitor. And that was a young Jon Jones. You're looking at Jones, who was in his, like, imagine being in a cage with one of those guys at like 22, 23 years old. Like what he did to Shogun. And in fact, I will thank you, everybody that commented on the breakdown videos, the war room and stuff. Because I was trying to think of someone that had such a dominant performance to take a belt off a champion, a long-standing champion. And the Jones-Shogun fight was just outstanding. Yeah, it was amazing. And there are very few champions that came in as contenders and was able to dominate the champions like that. Like Anderson Silva was a good shout. Someone mentioned Cody Garbrandt as well, good shout. But yeah, it was just one-sided, and it was the posture of Shogun as well during that fight. Like the moment, was it end of the second round, where Jon Jones would have been sat in side control or half guard, and he sat for the ankle lock, and Shogun just like rested his head back on the canvas for a second, just got like, oh my god, end of the round, and Jon Jones went whack, hit with a hammer fist.
He's just mean.
Yeah, he is mean. He is mean, like, vindictive, nasty. Yeah, nasty.
It just looks at ways to be disgusting.
Love it. I love it.
It is pretty awesome.
It is to the point. It's very creative.
Okay, now here's my argument.
Go on then.
If you would have not watched Jon Jones when he was 23, and you would have just watched his last 3 fights, would your opinion be different? Yeah, but not even mentioning the 3 years out or whatever, because that just depends on the person. So, his last 3 performances, would you just be like, oh, that's the same person?
If that was just a fight and it was like, well, I mean, it's difficult to say, because the thing is, I can't not take into account the fact that they were title defenses, that he'd been defending his title for years, that he wasn't really bothered about fighting them. Like, it just seemed like against Anthony Smith, it was just a dismantling. But Anthony Smith just shut down and didn't do anything.
Yeah, but then Anthony Smith, Thiago Santos, and Dominic Reyes have gone on pretty big like losing streaks.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's somebody in the comments about arguing about the fact that Dominic Reyes potentially beat him on the scorecards. I didn't think so. I thought Jon Jones, he allowed that fight to go the distance when really it didn't need to. If Jon Jones was focused and as mean and as creative as he was when he was enjoying his career, because he didn't look like he was enjoying himself too much in those last few fights.
No, of course. And
like the Smith fight was dominant, but even so, it didn't look like it's same as his fight against OSP. Like, he didn't want to fight OSP. He wanted to fight Cormier, right?
Yeah.
But because Cormier wasn't there, he got OSP stepped in short notice and he just coasted. It was a very lackluster performance, and I felt like it was the same against Santos and the same against Reyes.
Yeah,
and I think he feels the same, because in another dimension, Jon Jones stops all 3 of them. He stops all 3 of them. Stops Anthony Smith up against the fence with elbows or a guillotine up against the fence. He TKOs Santos and Reyes. Yeah. I can't make an argument for any of those guys being better than Jon Jones. Whether you think they might have edged it on the scorecards.
I'm not saying that they are. No. I think Jon Jones is the best fighter that
so
there
that's
is.
The thing.
And that's something I don't like saying. I feel like every UFC card is bringing up GOATs.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Yeah, we've got a whole herd of GOATs for a roster.
Just like, this person's a GOAT. This is the greatest of all. The sport's like 20 years old. Calm down. Greatest of all time.
Well, I mean, but it's easier to be greatest of all time if all time is 30
like
years.
30 seconds. Like, chill.
Yeah, but okay. But those last 2 performances, like Jon Jones apologized straight away in his post-fight interview. He knew there were shitty performances. He knew he wasn't really invested in it. I talked about it in the war room. He put on his church voice. He's like, I'm so proud of you. Hey, this guy's a black belt in Muay Thai.
That
guys,
really
he's a black belt in Muay Thai.
He's gonna come and fight Ciryl Gane like the Jon Jones that was 23.
Yeah, but this is Jon Jones.
And creative. And Jon Jones at heavyweight is supposed to be like, if you make Jon Jones have Francis Ngannou power of knockouts. And we don't know if that's going to be the case. That's the ideology.
But I hope he doesn't have Francis Ngannou knockout power, because first of all, it would make him overthrow, and second of all, he doesn't need it. Like, Jon Jones as a heavyweight is going to be powerful enough to stop anybody in the heavyweight division.
So what's the most exciting part about him being a heavyweight?
Is that he's had time off and he's grown into the division.
No, but him coming back into, let's say he had time off and he came back to light heavyweight. I
won't be as interested because I don't feel like the light heavyweight division is as interesting for him. And I also feel like part of the reason why his performances were so lackluster is because he was having to keep his weight down at 205.
Yeah, that can make sense. But now has gone up to the fact that he's like he's not as agile as he was before, and that just goes to any like. If I go up 40 pounds, I'm not going to be agile.
No, for sure. Okay. But let's say this, right? You've got puppy Jon Jones, who didn't kind of know what to do with his limbs, but was still knocking Stephan Bonnar out with spinning elbows and was still able to win the championship, even though he was just trying to kind of figure out like how his body moves as an MMA fighter. Mm-hmm. He even said this in one of his post-fight interviews. He was like, I'm starting to understand what it feels to be an MMA fighter now. Right, so you take that wild and creative Jon Jones, then you put 5 years of kind of boredom and not interested in fighting the contenders that are coming, aside from Daniel Cormier, because there was a nice little bit of needle there, and then you put him in these fights against Reyes and Smith and Santos, where he doesn't really want to be there. He doesn't feel threatened by these guys.
Yeah.
Right, but what we did see with Jon Jones is to pull his work rate back, be a lot more stationary, a lot less dynamic, and still just as brutal. So then you take that version of Jon Jones that we saw against Reyes and Santos and Smith, and then you build him into a 250-pound heavyweight monster that's been out for 3 years, and he's like, just fucking get me back in there, because these heavyweights don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
If I'm Jon Jones, I am sitting I'm working out for the next 3 years thinking I'm going to come back and take over the heavyweight division, and I'll be considered the greatest MMA fighter of all time. And he needs to do that within, 2 years, 3 years, and then he could retire for good. If he wanted to. Yeah,
plus with Francis not getting anything, they tripled his money.
Yeah, exactly, for sure.
It's we're not going to give it to you, Francis, I'm going to triple this guy's money.
And who is there in the heavyweight division that's going to really earn Jon Jones's respect? Really? But
that's kind of why I don't understand why you think coming back at heavyweight is more challenging than light heavyweight. Because I feel like
because he forgoes his advantages. That's exactly why. You put him back in the light heavyweight division, and he's fighting against Glover Teixeira, who he already beat 25 years ago, and Jan Blachowicz, who's nearly 40, and he's 6'1".
Yeah, but you have Jamal Hill coming in, and Yuri Prochazka is an interesting fight.
But I don't think they are. Really. I think Jamal Hills would be interesting if you give him another 5 years to grow into being a light heavyweight champion.
Yeah.
But Jon Jones as a light heavyweight right now, you give him back the height and reach advantage, as well as that mean creativity and 25 fights experience, 28 fights experience. I just think he's too much at light heavyweight. The reason why heavyweight was so interesting is because he's foregoing his advantages.
He still has a reach advantage over Ciryl Gane.
But it's only 3 inches compared to, 13 inches over Daniel Cormier or something.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. If he stepped in there against Ngannou, he would be fighting someone who unequivocally has a better punching power than Jon Jones. I feel like Jones and Ciryl Gane might be a little bit on an even footing, but I'm still edging towards Jon Jones for 2 reasons. One, Cyryl's got really nice straight punching, but as soon as it comes to power punch, trying to get a finish, he's straight armed and he's swinging it from right behind him. Think about the strikes he was landing against Taito Avasa up against the fence.
Yeah, that's a bit
He's
weird.
Swinging them because he can't generate power. He can get power for his size, but not the power of a heavyweight, not compared to Ngannou.
Yeah.
And then you've got Jon Jones, and from what it looks like on the countdown show, he did 5 reps with 140 kilos on his bench. And he looks thick. He looks powerful.
Yeah, but then he's going to be as agile.
It doesn't matter because he's a heavyweight. It doesn't. The way to beat Ciryl Gane is not to out Ciryl Gane. The way that Jon Jones beats Ciryl Gane is to walk him down like a heavyweight power puncher and beat him up with the side kicks to the body and the leg and elbows crashing around the sides, which at light heavyweight were damaging. At heavyweight, they're going to be devastating. And I feel like the 3 years out with the excitement that he's got coming back, Like, he installed a gym in his house a couple of months before pandemic, right? Like,
Yeah.
what is it like having a gym in the house? You walk in there anytime and you work out, right? It's perfect. And he's done nothing but work out. He doesn't have to work. All he does is train and train his dog, right? And shoot his guns. Like, he's literally just doing exactly what he wants to do. And what he wants to do right now is be the best MMA fighter ever. And he's in the heavyweight division. And he's coming back into a heavyweight division. And the top heavyweights are Ciryl Gane, Stipe Miocic, Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, Taito Avasa.
Yeah.
Like, he beats Ciryl Gane. Maybe Stipe Miocic takes the next fight. Then what? The only other interesting fight really is Curtis Blades. Then you wait until someone like Tom Aspinall finds his way into the top of the division after dealing with his injury. Or, like, after that, like, Spivak's not going to get close to Jon Jones. Volkov's not going to get close to Jon Jones. Rosenstrike's not. Tabora's not. Derek Lewis, of course, isn't, but I'd love to watch it. Like,
Let's just watch him just bent over and be tired and get like the most epic comeback knockout ever.
Right. Like, I mean, literally, and the only reason why I say Curtis Blades out of all of them is the most interesting is because of his wrestling. Because he's not going to be as afraid of Jon Jones as he was with Ngannou, because he's been knocked out by Ngannou and he knows that he's got fight-ending power at any range.
Yeah.
Whereas, because Jones has to accumulate a bit of damage, or at least he did as a light heavyweight, it's a bit more forgiving for Curtis to maybe get the fight to the floor. But even so, like, this is Jon Jones' division. If he beats Ciryl, there's nobody else in the division that can beat him.
Yeah. If he beats Ciryl.
Yeah, if he beats him.
He struggled to keep Dominic Reyes down.
Yeah, but he didn't give a damn about Dominic Reyes. Like, Dominic Reyes was at high school when Jon Jones was the light heavyweight champ of the world.
Yeah, Ciryl hadn't even fought when Jon Jones was the light heavyweight champion of the world.
Exactly. So how do you think he's going to beat him?
Because he's, like, quick. I think he's going to out-kick him.
Do you? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he's going to oblique kick him.
Yeah.
On the Countdown show, he was putting that. And one thing that I thought was a bit like...
That was an eye roll for the people that can't see through the sunglasses.
Yeah, it was just like, what was it? Jon Jones was like, oh, he's putting out videos where, guys aren't putting... Yeah, if you're not going to put out videos of you doing the hard rounds with somebody big and strong. And just from Aries commentary, I can tell you there's a lot of heavyweights coming in MMA Factory that are outstanding wrestlers.
Yeah, for sure. But on the flip side, Jon Jones showed you his training partners and he showed you footage of him manhandling them.
Showed one trip that lasted 5 seconds.
And I totally believed that he could take down Ciryl Gane with that same takedown. Especially because, Ciryl Gane's 247, Ciryl is.
Yeah.
Walt Harris is like 315 pounds in that video.
Yeah, but it's still, that's a takedown that you get when...
Yeah, when you can manhandle people.
No, it's not a manhandling. It's like a trip, and it's one of those things that you get caught, and you're just like, oh, really? Okay. That's like when you're sitting down and somebody just steps onto your legs and just like pushes your kneecaps and you fall, and you're just like, oh, damn. That was stupid to get caught with.
777 Lando said, stop overlooking Pavlovich. Lol. Well, I'm not overlooking him, but I just don't think he can beat Jon Jones. Not overlooking him. He can get close to Jon Jones. He is close to Jon Jones. He's really high up in the rankings. He is one of the best heavyweights on the planet. Absolutely. Can he beat Jon Jones? Can any of them beat Jon Jones?
Ciryl Gane.
Look, Jones, yeah, Blaze T, Blaze T said I'm spitting facts. Blaze T knows. Look, I'm not saying that Ciryl doesn't have... Ciryl has the best chance out of anybody in the heavyweight division to beat him. Absolutely.
Yes. Exactly.
But
movement.
I just don't
combination.
See it.
The only thing that for me is a little bit like was that he hurt his hand with Taito Avasa, and that was in September. And then for a fight like Jon Jones, you kind of want a lot of time, like
years.
Not only like years, but like a long training camp or.
Yeah.
But it's not a name that was like alien to Ciryl Gane. Like I remember him mentioning, and this was more than like a year ago, if Francis or Jon Jones. You know, that was kind of the thing. Like who'd fight next? Stipe, Jon Jones, or Francis. Those were the three names that kept coming up. So it's not like you're not in that position and you're analyzing the three possible fights you're gonna have.
Look, it doesn't surprise me that he had Jon Jones on his radar. If I'm Ciryl Gane, I'm thinking to myself, looking at the rest of these heavyweights, thinking they're incredibly unathletic. I'm quick, I'm skilled, I'm smart. Like, of course, I feel like Ciryl is going to look at the biggest challenges in the sport, being Francis and Jon Jones, and make that what he's aiming for. He's achieved so much in a short period of time that it makes sense that he's looking at the top of the tree. I just feel like Jon Jones, like, look at the experience advantage, right? Like 26-1 compared to 11-1. Yeah. And that's not 26 MMA fights and now he's making his debut. That's 26-1 having been in the UFC. I have to scroll down past all of his mugshots on his Wikipedia page to find his debut.
Oh my god.
UFC 87, Andre Gusmao.
Okay.
Right? 2008. Same year I made my debut in the UFC. He's still going. Like, I'm like 86 this year. Jon Jones is still going. He's found the fountain of youth.
Yeah, but has his all mugshot pictures and what you were doing with mugshot pictures kind of not made you be the same athlete at 30-something? Because it's just like, yeah, we're seeing this great creative prime of you, and then you did some stuff that is not really good for aging, is it?
Right.
Would you?
Yeah. Okay. How old's Mike Tyson? What is he, like? 60 right now?
We need to mention Garbrandt. Sorry if I mispronounced your name wrong.
You definitely did.
You are overlooking Cyryl's clinch game and distance management. Mate, you could stop spamming the comment section now. We have just said it out loud. Maybe we are overlooking it, but not everybody needs to hear about it.
We're overlooking the rest of your comments, my friend.
We get it, yeah. Great clinch.
Yeah, we've got a poll going here. What's the poll saying, Jamie, right now?
The poll
is
saying
Jon Jones is 54% likely to win the fight.
Yeah. Just like when you bring up Shogun Rua being incredible, you bring up Shogun Rua in Pride shorts.
He's out of shot. Yeah. That's because when he was awesome. Look, Shogun was still the light heavyweight champion of the world. Shogun was still the UFC light heavyweight champion of the world. Just because he got dominated by Jon Jones, it doesn't mean he was any less of a world champion.
Look, I'm not saying he's amazing. I'm not saying he's the best fighter. I'm just saying that I don't feel like he cares that much anymore. Maybe he does. Maybe he doesn't in this fight. I don't know. Is he going to care? We don't know.
Pyro Cham. Jon Jones was dominating fighters from a different era in MMA. Yeah, he was. He was absolutely. But he was dominating Rampage and Machida and Shogun and Vitor Belfort when he was 22, 23, 24 years old. Like, you can't take that out of the equation. You've got to remember that was Jon Jones then, in his early 20s. Like, most people in their early 20s are not even in the UFC at that point, right? He was already dominating champions and making it look easy. Like, and if we just follow on, he should have lost against Santos and Reyes. No, actually, he should have stopped both of them pretty comfortably. The fact that he had already checked out of his career by that point because he was having contract issues and focus issues, basically, let's just call it that. It doesn't change the fact. He's still young. What is he? 20? What is he? 35, right? 35 right now. Ideal for heavyweight. Some heavyweights aren't peaking until they're nearly 40. Right? Yeah. Some heavyweights aren't peaking until they're past 40. Glover Teixeira was 42 as the light heavyweight champion. Jon Jones is going to have a new career as a heavyweight and no one's going to be able to come close to him. And I don't care what people say about... Like, Dom Reyes can't beat Jon Jones 10 times out of 10. He was lucky that he got such a poor version of Jon Jones, because a better version of Jon Jones, the Jon Jones that fought Vitor Belfort, that's a different type of Jon Jones.
Okay, I'm going to drop some Usain Bolt knowledge over here. I just watched the Netflix documentary, so I am ready. Dude, his coach is amazing. Just for him to say anything is just so funny. what Usain was saying is it's hard for you to, have the same motivation if you've never been the champion, if you've never won and you never did that. Usain Bolt, of course he did, like maintain that and went on to win 3 Olympics and stuff like that. But also we're not seeing Usain Bolt in mugshots. We're just seeing him roll his ankle at a club. Yeah, but whatever.
Again, look, you put that amount of money in Jon Jones's pocket. Like the Fertittas gave him a Bentley, which is the one he wrapped around a lamppost. He was a kid. Like, what did Mike Tyson do? He bought himself a white tiger, right? It took 20 years of ayahuasca and chilling the hell out for Mike Tyson to arrive at this point where he is now at like 65, and he's still a murderer. Like, did you see that guy hassling him on a plane the other day? Would you like to fight Mike Tyson now? Jon Jones has that sociopath quality, which we very, very rarely see. Ciryl doesn't have it. I'm sorry, he doesn't have it.
No, he doesn't.
He showed toughness against Tai Tuivasa. He was able to regroup after he got dropped with a big shot. Jon Jones loves hurting people, and if he can rip your shoulder apart or snap your knee, he's gonna do it. Like, he doesn't need to play Cyryl's game. He doesn't need to be in and out. He needs to walk him down and beat the hell out of him. And that's most likely what Jon Jones is going to do, because that's what he's best at. Now, let's just play a game. Let me flip it on you, and I'll sell you Ciryl to win this fight, right?
Okay. Sell it to me.
Look, he's the new version of heavyweights, right? He's 247 pounds, ripped, lean. He moves in and out of range very, very well. He's got a wicked jab. And because Jon Jones has been so flat-footed on his feet at 205, you've got to expect Jon Jones at 255 to be very flat on his feet, right? And Ciryl knows that he doesn't want to clinch with Jon Jones. He knows that he doesn't want to get taken down. But he also knows that he doesn't want to get backed up against the fence, because that's where Jon Jones tends to level change, right? So if Cyryl's out in the center, big octagon, of course, because it's in Vegas, big octagon, moving around, stinging him, moving, keep him working the kicks. Of course, Ciryl can compete with Jon Jones on kicks like nobody else can, right? We saw what Ciryl did to JDS. Smash him, set him up for a perfect finish. It was a beautiful performance. And then we've also seen Ciryl being able to work close range with elbows as well. And because Cyryl's naturally been this size for how many more years than Jon Jones, you've got to expect that when they lock up, that physical strength is going to feel more natural to Ciryl Gane.
Yep.
Right? And I would also say that the loss to Francis Ngannou has done him a massive service, because he's gone away and he's gone, I got taken down by Francis Ngannou. I've got to fix my wrestling. I never saw that coming. He knows it's coming from Jon Jones, so he's going to be working on it. And as you've said, they're bringing in loads of Dagestani wrestlers into MMA Factory, so he's going to have lots and lots of bodies trying to take him down. So Ciryl Gane has absolutely got a really, really good chance of beating Jon Jones. I just feel like Jon Jones. I just feel like Jon Jones is going to smash him. I love Ciryl. He's a lovely guy. He's a really, really nice guy, and he's a great martial artist. But he's 12 fights into his career, and he's fighting the best talent that we've ever seen in mixed martial arts, who's had 3 years out to build himself into a heavyweight behemoth. 140 kilos, bang, for 5 reps. Connects with one of those shots. I don't see it. I just don't think that Cyryl's ready for that kind of Jon Jones. Zodi likes you and cut and kiss.
Yeah. Ciryl Gane.
Yeah, no, I didn't expect at all to change your. I didn't expect at all to change your. Okay,
I didn't like how your tone got a little bit more intense and higher when you were like, and he's nasty and he's gonna elbow. Like, it made me a little bit scared for Ciryl Gane. And I'm just like, no, he's the nicest person on earth.
Ciryl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I'm around him and I'm just like, wow, am I a horrible person?
During the riots in America, Jon Jones was the first person to the gym armed. He was the first person standing outside the front door with an AR-15. There you go. I almost said AR-47 then. The gun nuts were going to be like, oh, you don't know nothing about guns. Yeah, I don't know nothing about them. Look, he's a maniac. Like Jon Jones likes all things that damage individuals, including himself. And the more creative ways that he can find to damage people, the better. Like, if everything's equal, the warlike mentality of Jon Jones wins this fight. So if they're the same height, they've got the same reach, they're the same speed, they've got the same kind of conditioning, they've got all the same skills. Jon Jones is going to be the first person to bite a nose off in this fight. That meanness overrides. I just feel like it does. I feel like his presence is going to be something that Cyryl's not experienced.
There may be Ciryl Gane by disqualification of Jon Jones.
No, that's, you know what?
That's a good.
You know what?
If I was betting,
In fact, I might have a look at what, I don't gamble on fights, but I might look at what the odds are on Jon Jones, on the Ciryl Gane by disqualification.
Anthony Smith could have won that way.
That's why Dan has a fat face.
Yeah, tell him.
I don't even know what that's all about. Yeah,
If not, Ciryl Gane has a really good, opportunity as a ring girl after. Did you see the videos that he was when he went out to Imavov?
No.
He was doing like Nate Diaz, and then he was doing like ring card girl.
Oh.
Everyone thinks Jon Jones is gonna lose with a broken leg. I just hope it's from like a side kick to the leg and not like a dropping back for a leg lock to where Jon Jones gets up and elbows him repeatedly.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't know as I see it. Are we still? It's 60% for Jon Jones now. If you're watching on the live stream, do vote and let us know. Let us know who you think is going to win this one, because I am interested. Maybe I am way too high on Jon Jones. I do think that Ciryl Gane has got a really, really good chance of being a very, very problematic opponent for sure.
Joe McGee just say you're getting owned in this argument, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Joe McGee, that's not a real person. That's not a real name. Johan, who says I've got a fat face, also says that I'm afraid of guns, which is an odd thing to say. I used to be sponsored by the gun store in Vegas. I had a PX9.
Yeah.
Beretta PX9, was it PX7? And I had a Mossberg shotgun, combat shotgun, kitted fully out. Loved it. Used to go and waste some piece of paper with zombies printed on them.
You want to know my experience with gun, which is like really bad?
What's that?
So my parents used to do it like as a sport.
Right.
And they let me use it one day, and I was in Venezuela, unlicensed guns. They're just everywhere. So I went, and they're like, we were at a friend's house, and I shot it, and it was just so intense, and I wasn't expecting it, that I turned around, I was like, oh, look, with a gun. And everybody was like,
yeah, I'm not surprised.
Let me use it again.
No. I have to keep my eye on you when you're using the kettle. Of course you can't use a gun. That'd be lethal.
All right, look.
People
are saying that I'm winning the argument, but you're voting for Jones. So I don't know how this is happening.
Well, that's because you're cuter, but I've got the facts. That's why. It seems like people are digging the live streams, but I think we need to call it there because we need to run.
Yeah, we need to go run.
We do. So which way are you going, Ciryl?
Yeah, I already
Decision?
told you.
Decision?
Yeah, decision.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take Jon Jones by TKO in the 4th from ground and pound. Watch out, don't let Veronica use a gun. He'll know. I have to keep an eye on her with anything. Anything that's got a trigger or flames or anything. If it plugs into the wall, I've got to keep my eye on her. Mm. Right.
Yeah, because the voltage in this country is like death. We're trying to get something out of the toaster, and you were like, you'll die.
Yeah,
like, no.
Because you were using a metal fork, you fiend, and it was still plugged in.
They don't need to know that.
Yeah, no, they don't need to know that, but you paint me in a bad light. In actuality, I was saving your life. My goodness.
All right.
Yeah.
Cut
there. You're cutting again. Can't cut, it's a live stream. Okay, right, we'll call it there. Enjoy the fights. They are going to be fantastic. It's a great card.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us. Make sure you check out our sponsors, AG1, Athletic Greens. Go to athleticgreens.com/outlawed and you will get awesome deals. You will get a discount. You'll get free vitamin. This is the stuff. D3 and K2. You'll get some travel packs. And our friends at All Citizens. Get some of these. It will revolutionize your underwear drawer. If you use the code FULLREPTILE10, you'll get 10% off your first order. There's the Paradise Pocket. Put your boys in there. Keeps everything separate from your thighs. No stickage. And you've also got the little grip strips at the bottom, which don't pull on the hairs on your legs because they're these little tiny silicone dots. They have just redesigned underwear and smashed it out of the park. They are the Jon Jones heavyweight of the underwear world.
Yeah. Also, there's almost 2,000 people watching, and there's only 400 likes. That's kind of.
Oh, come on, give us some likes.
Come on.
We've got 420 likes. I kind of like that. Maybe we should just leave it there.
What is it? What was that song? Mr. Green Thumb?
There you go.
Did I get it right?
You got it.
Oh,
Dr.
yeah.
Green Thumb, almost.
Whatever.
You underqualified him. All right, we'll call it there. We've got to go and run. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We'll see you next time.